Oy vey, Dogo.
You want to call any?
Yeah, I'll call. Couple.
So, do you want to do?
I want to get set up first.
Okay, so do this is east. You can do south. And I'll do west. And you can do north. You can do south and north. And then this is the center.
Where's south?
We don't have it.
So you're going to give me the one that doesn't have one and just assume that I'm going to figure that out. You're just a great, wonderful person.
I can do it.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. Would not dream of it.
Ain't gotta be no salsa, salsa. Ain't got no salsa, sis.
No, but I want the
Oh,
one
that's
from 7
west.
days ago. I want live
So
now.
what did I get? Oh, east and west. Okay.
Woohoo! Cauldron Witch, how's it going? Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad you
Steph.
decided to come back and chill with us.
Very laid back stream today.
Sunday service. We're just getting a few things set up still. Of course, as always, video feed will start at 11. She can hear us screwing everything up in between. Glad you decided to come back. I paused it already. Why am I doing this? All right. Anyway.
Paused it too.
But anyway, glad you're here. Cauldron Witch. From the Cauldron Witch.
From. Oh, yes, me too.
What am I looking for?
Coffee, coffee.
I thought I had a 5.
Hey, Willow. Oh, hey, Willow. How you doing? How are the kiddos?
I must have 2 OneDrives. Somehow. Because... What?
It just seems like spirit or something is involved today. Your computer, the screws popping out of the Ouija board tray. Ah, Steph! And y'all all know, y'all can call me Brad. It's Rook, y'all can call me Brad. Oh. Dragon Dancer, hello! Hey, Dragon Dancer. Yeah, she's a princess. I agree. How are everybody's kiddos? Human and 4-legged.
Y'all need to stop being mean to each other. Yes.
I think, I always, my whole life wanted to adopt kids, and then now I'm 44, and I just think about starting now and a lifetime, because it's not just 18 years. But when it hits me is moments like right now when I'm drinking coffee and I'm like, oh, I probably wouldn't be able to do that with a baby, and then toddler, then young kid, and then teenager.
Uh-huh. That is true.
Oh, does he take his meds? Is he good about taking his meds, Steph? The wild one slept yesterday. We have our dog, our big one, the Samoyed, and she is awesome at taking meds, like pills. And then we have Finn, the youngest one. He he gets a liquid right now for a cold, and then a pill, and he is terrible.
He is terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you look at that instead of here.
Oh. Oh, he's good. Phoenix is the one that shakes hands. Is that right, or did I get that wrong?
Phoenix.
Is that your other baby? It's early for you. I just thought about that. It's like freaking
7:50.
6:50, 7:50, or yeah, 7:50, I guess. Well, I don't know why I thought. It was
Regardless,
6:50.
that's still early.
That's still early. So thank you definitely
No
for
kidding.
saying hi, or stopping in.
Seriously. Get some of these things
Mm-hmm.
lit up. We're going to light it up today. Not really. This is going to be, I think, a slow day.
This is gonna be a slow, pretty mellow, you know.
We got a few new things set up. It's not permanent, but we got our temporary presentation table set up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I keep trying to find like a daily or a weekly pagan, witchy, or occult news, and everyone I've gone to, it's like the page doesn't exist, or it's more of astrology, or the articles are like 10 years old.
The only one that's not really is wildhunt.org, which we do get a couple of things from. The problem is they're a little slow. Like, they're a little bit behind their education and their editorials, their stuff. But they do probably better than most. Can you stick that in there?
Yes, I will.
Thank you,
kind
sir.
Ooh, are we getting ready to call or not yet?
I think we should go ahead and circle. We're going to call our
Yeah.
circle in. If you want to participate, you are more than welcome, and you can. If you don't, then, just give us a few minutes to call this in. We're going to do a traditional call that we have written for ourselves. This is our personal circle call that we're sharing. So, yeah, so we're going to do that. Just ignore the demon noises in the background. That really is a dog, not demons, I think.
If he keeps up, he might take some time in the back. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Hear me, friends and ancestors from the east. Hear my voice carried on the air of clarity and truth. Watch over us as we cast our circle of safety and love.
See me, friends and ancestors from the south. See my flame of passion and creation seared into the energy of the universe. Watch over us as we cast our circle in limitless possibility. I must not do go.
Feel me, friends and ancestors from the west. Feel my love, fear, sadness, and joy washed into the waters of the rivers of compassion. Watch over us as we cast our circle of connection and motion.
Reach me, friends and ancestors from the north. Reach my feet and my hands, the earth between my toes and the work of my fingers. Watch over us as we cast our circle of the earth.
Know me, friends and ancestors from the ether. Know my intent, know my heart, and know my spirit. Watch over us as we ask you all to join us in perfect love and perfect trust.
Hear, see, feel, reach, and know that the circle is safe, the circle is comfortable, the circle is sacred, and the circle is cast.
So mote it be.
So mote it be. All right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go in. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. You just gotta go where there's less stimulation.
Oh, he feels fine about the stimulation.
Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here.
Envy, you're losing your play daughters, yes.
Maybe we should change his name to Samael. Is your name more appropriate to Samael?
Hey, Fimbubs. It's cute because he's got little raspberry colors on his face because of how he takes his medicine. Oh, love that dog. So we don't have a whole lot of topic specific today. We're just going to hit a couple of things. We obviously are going to do a tarot deck. I really wanted to do the Light Seers Tarot, but Universe said no. In other words, we have 2 copies of it. We have the boxes for both, but neither deck is available, and we don't know where they are. So that is a clear message that we are not using Light Seers Tarot, which is one of my top decks for like emotional things and just general workings and bringing people together, that kind of thing. One of my other favorite decks that's very, very similar is the Muse Tarot, so that's the one we're going to look at today. So I'm excited about that. We'll look at the Muse Tarot, and then of course at the end we'll do the Muse Tarot reads at the end. We're going to talk a little bit about Lunasa, starting about that discussion, as we get closer to actual Lunasa, which is in or around August 1st, depending on what you do and how you go. That is one of the things that we're going to be looking at. The closer we get to it, the more we're going to talk about it. So each week we'll do just a little bit about Lunasa and what it is. This week we're going to talk a little bit about the ritual discussion. We'll talk a little bit about our moon phases as we always do. We'll give you an update on shadow work. We put 2 episodes out this time. Our main topic today, Cone of Power, which is interesting because I chose this before I read the articles that talk about Cone of Power in some other circles right now that are really getting pretty big. And then we have a few current events like gas prices, Earth-sized rocky planets found nearby, nearby being a relative term. And yes, we are going to mention and talk a little bit about Roe versus Wade. We're not going to talk about the political part of it. We're just going to kind of talk about what it means and how we can kind of see it and get some thoughts on that from everybody, because there were some pretty extensive discussions yesterday, but that was more of our personal opinion, I think, and process, not just the true meaning and matter of what this is going to be. But the husky dog is her actual breed is a Samoyed, and her name is like the letters V and G for Valley Girl. So
not vagina.
Not vagina. So her full name, we call her VG, but her full name is VG Valley Girl, Bird of Pequay, because that's where she's from.
And what has she got?
That's her toy.
Oh, that's her toy. She can have that.
Yeah, it sounds like trash that she's eating, but it's that hamburger that they love.
That's a nice story, Steph. That's
Yeah.
crazy how they can come back in essence like that and visit.
Yeah, I was devastated after losing Lexi, our other. Yes,
not VD.
Well, that's a blast from the past word phrase, isn't it? They don't even call it that anymore. That's too funny.
What do they call it? STIs now?
Yeah.
Sexually transmitted infections.
Yeah. Not venereals.
I think I knew somebody in high school named Veneria.
I'm not talking. What was I just talking about? Oh, my sadness with my loss of Lexi when she left. I saw her everywhere, but when I asked for a sign, she wouldn't give it. As soon as I stopped asking, signs showed up everywhere that she was around. The common, when a feather falls, never in my life have I been around when a feather is floating down on the air. I've found them on the ground for sure, in water and all other things. Never ever have I seen one actually just falling out of the sky. And that happened like 3 or 4 times right after that. Once at Starbucks, in the house, and then not too long after that, I looked up and feathers were floating down, and that is a sign from the ether that it departed is watching. I saw you starting to smile. You want to laugh at me?
No,
and I know you're
wasn't.
laughing. Yeah, I know. I got
I'm
you.
laughing at the VD.
Mm-hmm.
I would never laugh at something like that.
I don't. The loss of a pet, Cartoon Witch, really, Valentine's Day. That is true.
That is true.
Right after Lexi died, and Loki, who we lost Loki a month before that, which was our other Samoyed, so we had 2. And we had them both for about 10 years. Right? Yeah, because we had Loki a little bit longer, and he died a month earlier. But he was older when we got him, too. VG was never supposed to make it past, 2, because of her significant medical issues. But regardless, anyway. I got really interested in a couple of, psychic things with animals and working with animals, and actually took some classes on animal communication, psychic animal communication, that were extremely beneficial. I'm actually still in that coursework on the very last part of it. It's just been a long time since I've done it. I need to do that. Maybe I'll do that this afternoon. But it's for, pet therapy and pet qualifications, and I got really interested in a couple of videos. One of them is, I think it's Diane McKinnon. I'll double check and I'll post, because If you have lost a pet, or if you want to see any, it's anecdotal, of course. It's not verifiable. But regardless, it made me feel better for sure. But she is amazing when it comes to not even the fact that she, if you don't believe that she can talk to animals that have departed, that's fine. But everything else she talks about, really cool. Very, very interesting and very, very fun. Not fun. Great. Just great to talk to and listen to. And yeah, that is a long time. That is awesome. That means that you took very good care of your fur baby. Might I also add, VG's issue was, we think pancreatitis also ultimately that she died of. Granted, she was only 10. Samoyeds generally live 12 to 16 years, but she wasn't supposed to live past 2, so we were happy with it. I mean, she only had 1 kidney. She had stones. She had all kinds of stuff, and I think she did really well. But anywho, let's turn on the cam. We're twins.
We're twins today.
Science is real. Black lives matter. No human is illegal. Love is love. Women's rights are human rights. Kindness is everything.
So we actually did purposefully twin today. We usually don't.
Yeah, you don't want to look like me. I get it.
No, I'm not saying that.
Hold on, let me write a note down on that one.
I'm not saying that.
Rook doesn't like how I look.
Really? 17?
Look, starred right there.
27.
I'll date that for you.
In 2027, we'll be together 20 years.
If you live that long. Anywho, but yeah.
All right.
So, it is what it is. It's, yeah. So if you look over to your, probably right of your screen, it is not the way we want it, and this is not a final thing. It's just what we could find at the time. The colors are getting washed out, and there's no light source over there, so I don't know what to do about that, but Rook is going to hold those up so you can see them a little bit better, but that is going to be our initial setup until we find a permanent solution, so that he doesn't have to keep walking up. You don't even have to get up. He can just reach over and hold it.
Yeah.
But the Muse Tarot, that is the tarot that we're going to talk about this morning, so you can go ahead and hand that to me.
It's very pretty.
It is, and
it's very impressy.
it is. So
Impress.
it's like the Empress. The Muse Tarot by Chris Ann.
You can't impress the
Who has
Empress.
a couple of different decks. All of them are really good quality. This particular one is very soft in its imagery. It's very emotional. It is very calming, inspirational. It's all of those things from, to me, it's all, if it's a deck is in alignment, this is a water deck for sure. But within that, obviously, there's all the elements. But we're going to do some readings from these this afternoon at some point. Once we're done at the end. But cardstock is really cool. It's reversible. It's borderless. All the things that I really love about tarot decks. So
Thank you, Steph.
super, super bright imagery. So yeah. I'm not going to pull any cards for a read or anything this morning because I did a weekly read yesterday. But at the end, we will be pulling cards. I don't know if Rook and I will be pulling from the same deck or not. But we'll decide that later. We're going to give a few shuffles, and I'm going to throw some cedar up on this baby to cleanse her out because this is not our deck. I have a copy of the Muse Tarot somewhere. This is actually Rook's sister's deck that she left here, and obviously we want to get them back to her at some point. But since they're here and I can't find my copy of the Light Seers and the other copy of the Muse, we're going to do a little cleanse, and then we will cleanse it again afterwards. I guess I should put something actually on it, huh? And cleanse it again afterwards and rehome it back to where it belongs because I don't want to butcher what I do. Cauldron Witch. I actually have never done a live Ouija session. I wouldn't be against it though.
That'd be fun. Do you do them?
I am very comfortable with using spirit boards, pendulums, tools of all kinds. Despite what things we go through, I'm very comfortable with my ability to protect and bubble and prevent and lock and gate and all those things. I would love to do that with somebody. I don't know about doing it online though, but I wouldn't be against it. We would need other people here that are also, well versed in it. I wouldn't want to do it just with 2 of us. It would have to be a couple. just to be on the safe side. But yeah, that would be cool.
Do you do those stuff? That would be really cool.
Yeah, I would. I would watch that.
I'd like to watch that. Oh, that's awesome. I haven't done that kind of divination. I bet that's really interesting.
It's different because when you're working with the tarot cards, you're inviting energies and spirits to give you signs and symbols of movement forward. My experience with a Ouija board, or a spirit board, I prefer to call them, which is, because Ouija just brings up the game to me, the Parker Brothers game. But a spirit board can be anything. You can write it down on a piece of paper, get chalk on the street, and do it. And I really like how that works. As far as, just communicating directly with. And so the difference is, like, you to me, you perceive more, you feel more, you see more. It's a little bit more direct, a little bit more scary than other divination tools. And I wouldn't even call it a divination tool, because it's not divining. It's a communication tool. It's like, it goes along with spirit box or stuff like that. I know somebody named Ryan, but I do not know that last name, so I'm not sure who that is. And I've seen a couple of people. I know Bonnie and Curtis have done, a few on their channel live that I didn't catch them live. I watched them afterwards, but they're still up. They're neat to watch. We haven't done pendulum on here, have we? We can't. We have tons of pendulums. Like, that's a big thing in this house.
Melvin does them.
Melvin definitely does them. That's true.
Unexplained possibility. Excuse me. He does them sometimes. I think pendulums are really cool. We could definitely do that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that, for sure. I'm going to put this box away a little bit, but until we get back to that. Whew, sounds good. I love breakfast. It's my favorite meal.
Oh, cool. Ryan.
That's not the same Ryan that I know that does tarot, so.
I'm going to check him out. Ryan Espich.
Yeah, we'll look that up. There is a guy on that does some really good work with angels and stuff too. That's oh my God, what is his name? I just watched him the other day. In his Discord. Oh my God, I'll think about it. But it's really good. So there's a lot of really good different things to watch, different systems. But that'd be pretty cool.
So you're showing them some cards from this deck?
Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. Did you
Because your reading wasn't from that, right? That you did?
No.
Who was that? That's kind of valet.
Look at it. It's on its side. That's what I wanted to show on that one. I set them out and then didn't do it. Cauldron Witch, did you watch that on like Twitch or YouTube or what? Because I remember there was a gentleman on YouTube. Twitch. Back in probably 7 or 8 years ago that I was watching this. Didn't have a huge following, but just kind of did some cool stuff.
So voices, is that air?
Yeah, I would assume
Use
so.
the voices?
Yeah. So some of these...
Seems like it's not focusing as well.
Well, it's smaller because you're not used to it. You want me to make it bigger for a minute?
No, I think it's just maybe my hands. See, like it's kind of...
Well, it's a crappy camera. Whoops. I don't know why you get up, though.
I don't know if I can see it or not.
Yeah, I can see it. Hopefully you guys can see it, but that would still be fun. We'll have to look that up. We'll look it up.
Kayla! Hey!
Hey, welcome in. Long time no talk.
I want her hair color.
Awakening.
Awakening? I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
I just don't think this is showing. Maybe.
Yeah, it's enough for now. This isn't our permanent, stable thing that we're going to do. We'll probably need to go to the antique store today or soon. Let me pull another devil. And get something more permanent and get a little bit better camera. Now, I have the DSLR camera, but I just don't want to keep setting it up and taking it down, setting it down. The big camera here that you see in front of us, it's kind of a permanent. Well, you don't see it. You are seeing us on it. That's kind of a permanent thing that we don't have to take up and put down and take up and put down. So, plus I don't think I have a tripod strong enough to hold
The devil.
The devil, yeah. The camera. You show in the back? I don't remember.
Oh no, I did not. It's very empressy to me. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Wait, what? Erotic Fox? That one I don't know. Is that autocorrect or not? I'm not sure.
Ooh, erotic fox.
That sounds like something you'd be into.
Yes, it does.
But so anyway, that's the tarot deck we're going to kind of do. I will talk just a little bit if you haven't seen the tarot yesterday that I did for this tarot day. The weekly read was very fun yesterday. I did a meditation in the morning that is for a shadow work that we read, and I did that meditation as part of my process, which we are planning on making some videos to that effect. But anyway, I did that meditation and it just felt really strong and really powerful. It felt really good, and then yeah.
Oh, you got me interested when you put erotic.
Sure.
I said, woo.
Arctic. That makes a lot more sense too,
erotic,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yesterday's read, and I'm doing this by memory, so I have to remember the cards I pulled, and I remember them a little bit backwards. So we had the Hanged Man,
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Temperance,
Ace of Swords.
One of Ace of Wands, and the Ten of Wands.
Is it wands?
Yes, because it was all fire energy yesterday in the minors. Trying to throw me off, you devil. The devil is in the detail. No, I'm just kidding. So it was a very fiery read. Yeah, we're going with Erotic Fox. Like we have to trademark that like now.
We should make a candle scented name Erotic Fox.
Is it gonna smell like that lady's vagina?
No. Well, no, I don't know how you would.
It's not gonna smell like penis because that's just not appropriate. Anywho, we digress. So yeah, it was a total on fire reading. Like it was really, really neat to do that yesterday. I felt really good about that read as a general, bringing in all the fire energy that needs to come through. I looked kind of back at all the weekly tarots that I've done in a long time, and even before we started doing them on YouTube. You can hold off just a second.
What?
Before YouTube, and you can see a definite trend. It's very interesting. Now I don't know if this is a mirror trend before or after. I definitely am aware of and accept my biases in my reads. Like there's no way I can read without having some sort of bias to it, and I talk about that a lot lately because I don't want it to seem like we're making reads that just match what's going on in the world. But we know that once as a human being, connected or not, universal, once we start hearing and knowing of things, you get bias. You get things into them that you may not read otherwise or have not read without that information. You can't tune that out, especially for somebody like me who's constantly out and about traveling different states and going all over the place. So, but anyway, the point is, fire, very fiery. The trend of all those reads, it really did show like depression followed by redemption followed by aggression so it's really following the general thought of grief. Like the world right now, as we're going through these trends, it looks like the stages of grief. So it was really cool to kind of see that over the last couple of years. Grief for what? I don't know, but usually after grief brings healing. So I think once we finally get through some of these things, I think positive changes are going to be happening in the near future, just in general. I think I'm not taking a nihilistic view at this point of the world is going to hell in a handbasket, because the world has already been in hell in a handbasket. It's just we didn't have video to share it. So are some things getting worse? Sure. But are some things getting better internally and individually? Absolutely. So it's very important to do that and follow that.
That makes sense, Steph. I understand that. Yep. Well, you don't want to know anything.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I prefer when people ask for general readings too. Like even if it's for query, I want the reading to tell me what the question is, and that usually happens. Sometimes it doesn't. But that being said, you can read for somebody dependently, and if you have a pretty good meditation game and that thought process and really ground and center and connect all those things, you're not going to be all that biased for the most part. But there are going to be some things that are going to be stuck in the back of your head, consciously or subconsciously, that are going to affect how you read and what you do. Even your style of read. Two readers next to each other, when you get two completely different readings, both of them can be meaningful and purposeful, but be different, even if we're connected into the same universe. Now, I have found there's a lot of readings do go together. Like, I have friends of mine that read, and I will read on my own. And when I post my videos, it's usually within an hour of me finishing that weekly read. But when I do private readings, which I have been doing more and more of that lately, which has been nice, they are connecting in a different way than I'm used to, which is definitely the energy is high.
Hey, Joy.
Hi, Joy. We weren't sure if you were going to say hi in here or hi at the door. We just got done talking about the Muse Tarot, which we're going to use to do some tarot this afternoon. I was sharing a little bit about my thoughts on biases, that my readings do take some bias according to the environment and the energies around me. I have not fully been able to completely disconnect that, and I don't know if I ever will or if it's possible even, but so that's always a part of it. That colors the things, When I got up and did my read yesterday and I turned the red on in the lights, right? I had my red background lights, everything was bright red, and I started pulling my cards. I didn't choose the 2 fire cards that came out, so 50% of that read was fire.
No, that's fine. Thanks.
And it is what it is. But I read that more aggressively, I think, because that colors, which, by the way, does kind of remind me of one of the other classes that I'm currently taking on quantum healing and going through that certification process. Really talks about how colors influence things, right? Influence our personality, our behaviors, the things that we do. Absolutely agree with that. Believe it, it's true. Because I'm telling you, if I would have chosen a different color background yesterday when I was doing my read, I probably would have had a softer read if I did blue. I would have had a more energetic read if it was yellow. I had a more aggressive one because I had red. And I really do believe that affects, what we're doing. But it's also supposed to be there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Steph. Thank you.
Yeah, Joe, I appreciate you asking for permission. I like that, but that's great. We're more than happy to, or more than glad that you would do that. So, thoughts about kids using the Ouija board to communicate with spirits, not having any experience on what to do. So, there's 2 ways to go about that question for me, but I'll let your thoughts first.
I think kids are very intuitive and connected, and I think it would be fine, but being monitored, if something came through, that as a parent or an adult to monitor to disconnect them from anything harmful.
Yeah, and the other thing too is there's a difference in beliefs.
Noella!
One of the difference in belief in my brain that comes to mind first is it's like object permanence. Is it a true statement that the spirit or Ouija board is a portal to the other world? Well, if you, as the individual and owner and architect of your own life, which is one of the things that's very specific to me in my path, and I think a lot of pagans, right, or left-hand path or whatever, it's about us being the architect of our own life. And in that architectural plan or blueprint, if there's no afterlife and no spirit world, then the Ouija board has no power. 0. It does nothing. It is just a tray. But if you, as the architect of your life, have decided that there is an afterworld and that there is a spirit world and that this is a gate to that and that's your belief and your connection to it, then it is absolutely the most incredibly powerful tool. So you kind of have to look at it from that perspective. So for me, I do believe that there are so many other energies that we don't know and cannot understand, or not cannot, but do not understand. And some of us are at different levels of understanding that, whether that's ghost, astral, spirit, entity, whatever those things are, alien. I don't know exactly what they are, but I do feel, based on my own personal experience, that if I can, bless
Excuse
you,
me.
Gesundheit,
Sorry.
that if you
Excuse me.
are really paying attention and that you really are using this for that kind of a tool, then you need to know how to protect yourself. You need to know how to bubble. You need to know how to open and close gates on the other planes. Those things are all things that I would say you need experience for. But again, it goes back to I'll use a good example. I watched some of, and I'm going to call out two people. And they're Bonnie and Curtis. They have, like I said earlier, videos of them using the spirit board. I believe that they are connecting, and I believe that there is something on the other side of that board, and I believe they're communicating with it, and I believe that they need strong protection, and they need to be very sure of themselves, and they need to be very, not like experts in the occult, but just experts in themselves and knowing what they can and can't do and what their boundaries and things are. I completely believe in that, but saying that, if somebody doesn't, I don't think that it would have any power for them. Like, I don't think a random person who says that there is no fucking afterlife, I don't care about any of this shit, and they go use a Ouija board, I don't think they're going to let in an evil spirit, because they have no intent, like no true intent to make it work, because they don't believe. So that would be kind of like my thoughts on it. It's not very, what's the word? Not very good at answering your question specifically. So I guess for me as a practitioner, yes, I would be fine with kids using a spirit board. I like Rook. I think their kids are very in tune. I think that there should be adult supervision of somebody who's there with them, especially if they believe, because their imaginations are going to bring things in.
Oh, yeah.
And whether they bring it in or not, whether it's real or not, it's going to be real to them, and it can be very dangerous. But again, I believe in intent, and if we say intent is everything, and intent is extremely important in what we do, and I know not everybody believes that. I do, though. If your intent works on the positive side in your magic, then it works on the negative side, too. If I don't have any true intent of reaching somebody on the spirit board because I don't believe, then it won't. It won't work. I do, more and more as I get older, I subscribe to the idea of being... like I said, architects over your own life. I do believe in some object permanence, meaning that things do exist outside of us, and we just can't perceive them, just like we can't perceive ultraviolet light, and bees can, right? So hell yeah, there's a lot of shit we don't know about and that we're trying to connect to. But if your mind and body is closed off to that thing, then it's not going to work for you. I really want to do spirit board now.
Yeah, I wish we had one.
Well, we technically do. It doesn't have to be like christened the spirit board. All it has to do is have the letters and the words spelled out on it. We just need to planch it.
That'd be fun to do.
Yeah, I'm not doing it live.
No. Some might come through.
Uh-huh. That's a little scary.
But maybe
scary.
one day.
Maybe one day. I do respect the spirit board. I think it is a tool, just like any others, and it can be misused. So that can be something too. Anybody else have any thoughts on the spirit board? Like ideas? That cedar smells so good, doesn't it? Just like a little fire.
Indeed.
Indeedy do. If anybody wants to or has any videos of use of, we're losing it over here, of spirit board use that you would like to share or something, put it in the Discord. You can share any of that stuff that you want to share. We're comfortable with it.
That's very true, Joy. Yes, ma'am, we do.
We do. And I'm looking right at it too. It's in a bag right around the other side of this computer. I will do Pendulum Live. I'm very comfortable with that one. We should have to. Maybe we'll do that next week.
That'd be fun.
We talked about pendulums in one of the early episodes, but we really didn't go into use of pendulums. Just kind of talked about them themselves.
Come over next week, Joy.
Yeah.
Do some pendulum work with us.
And sewing.
Well, sewing we won't do on this, but pendulum work we would. Yeah, sewing.
We can take a camera out to our little area out there. That is too funny though. We might see if I know that's early for him too.
Ooh. Yeah, that was some energy, huh, Steph?
Yeah, I've seen it in real, like in person. I've seen planchets move on their own.
Ah, Melvin, good morning. Ooh, cool for a ladies' night.
That is so cool. I would love to see
cool.
that. We'll have to link that.
to link
And
it.
welcome in, Mel. Paranormal, I agree. I think you are on the right track for a personal opinion, and mine is very similar. It's not a toy, and we don't want to mess with them with silly questions. And that is, I think that's true and appropriate for our practice. I will say I still stand by, though, that if I have no intent of it working and I don't believe in it and I'm a skeptic, then it's not going to work. It's not going to open a random portal in the bottom of a basement. Now, if I have half-assed intent and I do believe it's going to work, but I'm faking that it won't, like many people do, it's like, oh, I'm not scared, I'm just going to do it, this is so stupid, and they do it, but they really do kind of half believe, they're going to screw something up. You know? Yes, I would love to see that. I don't know how to allow people to like do links, but I would love to see that video link. Mel, we can post that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, come on.
So let's talk a little bit about our little topic that we want to get out of the way. For me, that's the next two rituals and Esbat or Sabbath and Esbat. August 1st is Lunasa, or Lugnasad.
And Joy, I'm glad you're in here after
sunshine and rain. Oh, sorry. You do it to me all the time.
I do, and I love it. After Lunasa is for Druids, Alban Elfed, the next harvest festival for Druids, autumn equinox.
Which would be our Mabon, I think, right?
Which would correspond to our Mabon.
Mabon.
Is Alban Elfed after Lunasa for Druids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the Druids that Reconstructionists, we use Lunasa now. That's still Lunasa, isn't it? Or Lamas. Some people use Lamas.
Lamas, yeah, it would be.
Oh, that's right. Blessing of the animals. That'll be fun. That's important too. That's more important actually. Yeah, I think we're gonna pull at the end. I think it's gonna be a permanent thing. I think.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. So like I said, each time we're going to talk a little bit about the next up rituals and things that are happening. So Lunasai is the next one that's coming up. It's August 1st. This is the beginning of the harvest season. We talked a little bit about that last week.
Hey, L-Trax.
I think that's an L or an who knows?
L-Trax?
L-Trax 34. Hello.
If it's an I, I'm sorry. I'm getting used to my progressives.
Well, you can't tell in here. It's too small.
Maybe if I look like this, I can see.
So, each week we're going to talk a little bit about the ritual. So Lunasa wanted to kind of mention what are things that you can do during a Lunasa ritual. Well, very similar actually to Solstice and Beltane. The difference being that you're no longer you're still growing. Like we're still in prime parity, right? It's still abundance and growth because it's only the first harvest. There will be a second and sometimes a third harvest. But the first harvest, while it's still about the fullness and the brightness of the sun is starting to get dimmer. It is still a fire festival. This is still full on, bright, but it is the first harvest of things like corn and grains and wheats and all the different things that are used, usually field type stuff.
Hey, Lashandra. Hi, welcome.
Welcome. So it's an L. Ooh, awesome.
Cool.
I assume. But yeah, so this is like one of the things that I would do is lots of bread. And I think our first bread that we ever made was the Lunasa bread, which we're going to make again, I'm sure. It was also one of our first videos.
Yeah, it was.
That we did
a year ago.
Live, and it was so much fun. I couldn't figure out how to edit the video right, and it looked stupid because it was just,
it was 4 hours long.
I'm surely an amateur, but
it was fun to do.
It was fun. So really...
Hey, Simona.
The cuckoo puff. I love that.
Simona! Hey! Welcome.
So yeah, celebration very similar to like Beltane and the fire festivals. Lots of reds, oranges, gold. It's really a high time to appreciate the abundance. And now one of the things that's important to me for Lunasa is the abundance that you're appreciating is from the divine, right? It's from the gods and goddesses and from the land, but even more so, or just as much, it's from your own hard work and working the land and being connected to the land. So at solstice, we celebrated our internal flame becoming brighter as we reach out and move out into the world and become something bigger, right, as we grow. And then we take that first harvest or reaping of the benefit at Lunasa, where we know quickly whether we're going to have enough food to get us through until the next harvest and or the winter. And we start the hard work all over again after the celebration of preparing things, putting things away, smoking things. So this is a good time for if you eat meat, like all kinds of smoked meats and sausages and spicy things like that. Also anything cornbread, really thick tack bread, unleavened breads, well, any bread really, is really kind of what you would do, or things that you could use in Lunasa. Ritual-wise, there's quite a few other different things that you can do as well. We'll talk about that on the next episode. I don't want to belabor and repeat each time. So next episode, we're going to talk more about the actual lore itself, a little bit of maybe altars and how we represent Lunasa. Lunasa. Every time I say it, I think of Mufasa. 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 Sorry. Yes, cooking is definitely in order too. As bats.
Moon phases. What are we in today? Waning crescent.
Mm-hmm.
We're 6% illuminated in Gemini. Just changed from Taurus.
So we just went from super stable to sharp as a tack, on point with an arrow focus. Right? We moved from earth to air. So we moved from stable flatland to air. We're now pointed and aimed.
And we've got a new moon coming up this week, the 29th. What day is that? We'll be in Cancer. The 29th will
Wednesday,
be... Is it Wednesday? Thursday? Wednesday. You're right. 29th. Wednesday will be our next new moon.
Yep, and then we have our next full moon, July 13th, which will be the buck moon.
Buck moon.
That will be in Capricorn. So we have a buck moon, a very earthy animal, and a very earthy sign. I believe, I get confused. I forget whether it's cardinal. I think it's cardinal. For Capricorn. But anyway, I'm the mutable earth. So Capricorn, I believe, is the other one. I just forgot exactly what I was saying. But anyway.
For supermoon, yeah.
Yes. Supermoon, that would be fun. Next on the list.
What are we doing? Our shadow work, episode 3.
Yeah.
Just came out. The next episode, we're actually following the book, and there's a couple of meditations in there, and we'll be doing 2 separate short videos for the meditations. Because as suggested by the author, even for us, she suggests, you record it, and then that way you can play it back to work the meditation. So we'll be doing that 4th video with those 2 in there, which is the 4th video is the last part of chapter 2.
Yes. So the preparation pretty much is done.
What I like about this book. It's very detailed about the preparation. We haven't even discussed the tarot shadow work spread or anything, or read, excuse me.
It's very important for us to be specific and managed and directive and intentional is the word I was actually looking for as we do the shadow work, because again, I've done shadow work before, and you do shadow work, really it's a lifelong endeavor. But doing intentional shadow work is very beneficial to yourself. It's very beneficial to those around you. It really does heighten and balance your energy. So we want to do it especially from a place of where it's beneficial to anybody who wants to watch the video and they can follow along with it. But you know what? Shadow work is not this hard, scary, magnificent thing that's going to, take you down into the gutter. If you take your time preparing and moving through things slowly, remembering that the goal with shadow work is to heal yourself, not create new injuries. That's from the Robert Johnson book that was really good, Your Own Little Shadow.
And Joy, I didn't answer, but I would love to talk about you later with what the working you said you were doing and the process you were doing, because I would like to hear about it, and I would like maybe something I want to try.
So you're one day, Joy, I think, ahead of Stephanie.
Ooh, July 15th?
I think she was the 16th, if I remember correctly.
Steph, is your birthday?
Is that? I could be
The
wrong.
16th? July?
You know, I don't think Shadow Work is the next Twin Flame. Do I think that it's potentially to open up that doorway to it? For sure, but that to me is a separate thing. You know, I view Twin Flame as a direct, reciprocal, almost doppelganger style challenge. And while I think that is very possible to come up during Shadow, and especially in intentional Shadow Work, I don't know that that's just like the next working supposedly, because I'm feeling it differently this time. As we're going through the shadow work that we're doing, this is feeling much more like a I don't know how to explain it, like a half pipe on a skateboard. You know, we're going up one side and down, and then up the other side, down, and up the other side and down. But it is, I mean, Twin Flame is definitely to me a part of shadow. Like it's literally mirror. What do you call it?
I can
Opposition.
see that. I can see that, like front and back.
It's mirror opposition, right? No matter which way you look, but it like to me, it can be a part of shadow work. It can be completely separate, but shadow work can take you to twin flame working, and absolutely can go together. But
Simona.
yes,
She does it daily.
and yeah, you should really. Shadow work is a daily thing. Like you are working the shadow when you are doing daily affirmations, when you are, you know, frustrated and acting out because you're a human being. I mean, all of those things are tied to shadow. So shadow is a lifelong endeavor. Like I've said many times before, it's something that you will always do, but specifically an intentional shadow work. What we're doing is literally going in and actively seeking out those things that might need some repairing, and really working through that part of the process. So, we, like I said, we released fast lesson or episode 2, because we had the solstice that we did, and we kind of missed that layout. And then I released episode 3 Friday to get us back on track, because every Friday is when we promised we would be releasing. So episode 4 will be out this Friday, hopefully. Now, I'm traveling for work this week, so I have to edit that video before we do it. Usually it doesn't take a lot of editing, but just if we need to add anything to it. So, you know, that will be a little bit timeline crunchy, but either way, we'll definitely be doing it.
Yeah, Joy, and I agree. There's something, and with you, there's something different, a different feel to doing it intentionally versus being forced because of circumstances to try to do shadow work. I like the intentional better than obviously being in a bad situation and trying to figure it out.
It's much more calming in your mind too to let yourself address shadow versus letting shadow address you, because it will. It will. So I'm really excited about that. The shadow work thing is probably the most engaging and building thing that I've ever done intentionally recently. We also have a couple of things planned. I know, Joy, you are a little ahead of us on the Tarot Shadow work, but we want to do a live to have people in and have discussions about this. So we are going to find a date soon, based on some of the individuals' you know, stressors and life events, and have a couple of people on a live chat to talk about our shadow work. So Joy, I know, is reading through the book. There's a couple of other people that are reading through that I know of, kind of alongside us, that I will invite if they wish to. And a couple of other people in the community online here that you guys are aware of, they also are reading it as they are able, and would like to get those things happening too, because I think that'll be really fun. And the live discussion really is just going to be about, you know, like the first 2 chapters as a whole. Like, what do we learn about preparing for shadow work, and how do we do that? And then we'll do like 4 or 5 more, and then we'll do that same thing too.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
It'd be neat
that'll
to
be
have
fun.
her on.
So I do want to address paranormal, twin flame, and soulmate common misconception, or I mean, I guess if you're specifically New Age and you don't believe in twin flame the way that some people do, then perhaps that is another synonym you could use for soulmate. But twin flame is kind of the, I don't want to say the Antichrist to you as the God-like Christ, but maybe that's the best way to put it. Twin flames are hot, fiery, aggressive, spicy images, or revert to me. Again, this is my own personal systems that I've been taught and used, but it's the opposing force of you that just is the most amazing thing you'll ever meet. Person, energy, whatever that you will ever meet, but it's also the most destructive. Because it will be built to throw poison on you and drag you down. That's why I say I think that is a part of shadow.
Ooh,
You meet and see how you react to that pool, right? That's the thing. So if you've ever been and you look back on a relationship that was the most you've ever loved somebody, but also the most toxic for you that you've ever felt, that is the closest thing that I would be able to explain for you as a twin flame. I do believe that you have more than one soulmate, which is completely separate to me. It doesn't even have to be a love interest. Soulmates can be friends. Soulmates are true sisters, brothers, true family that are not, well, we're all related, but not necessarily the same blood family. Soulmates are just that connection that, it's always there, that kind of stuff. Twin flame, that is something you want timed in your life, and you want it to come in and you want it to go back out, because you need to learn what you got to learn and you need to let it go. But to me, I know who one of my twin flames in my life is, and I only knew the person for about a week and a half.
Wow.
And challenged just every single part of my entire life at that point in my life, and then they were gone, and that was it. So
I've never heard of that term. I mean, or if I did, I didn't pay attention to it, so that's interesting.
A lot of people that are doing New Age, and there's nothing wrong with New Age. That is its own thing, and I consider New Age to be like really the positive forward motion. And I'm not saying that everybody's not balanced, but when I say more New Age, their interpretation from what I have seen is more of the soulmate and twin flame is like, oh, it's my twin flame, what's together makes a brighter flame. No, your twin flame is going to burn you. Like, that's what it does.
Not the one you ran over with the car.
Yes.
Well, I bet that's a interesting story.
Yeah, and there's different practices that speak of twin flame with different terms and different ways. I would love to hear anybody's thoughts on like their interpretation of twin flame too.
Ooh. Huh.
Yeah. I know exactly who my twin flame is, and I've known them for many years, but they come in and out of my life for very short instances, and it just is not fun. But it's almost like when it comes in, it's like neon signs telling the universe, "You better take care of your shit, okay?" And it's almost like the shadow part that forces you to deal with it. When it's like, okay, you're dealing with this because you've been ignoring it, so here you go.
I'm very in tune to your strong energy today. You have a very strong energy. I'm picking up on, and maybe it's
Did you see him flinch like I've beat him?
It could be my meds that have me temped way down, that I'm more in tune to it.
Probably your meds. I'm feeling great.
I feel like you're like there's this cone of power. There's a shield,
which is our next topic.
Force coming up from you that's like a strong energy.
My personal aura projection has excessively been able to project out, and that is something that I actively am learning.
Yeah, that's good.
You know that, like that's actively a part of my work and home life is projecting my aura out more than I normally do, because normally it's very subdued. Even last night, I'm sure everybody could feel that my energies were very high, and they have been because I've been working on trying to get those things out. I'm not great at it. I still am doing some missteps and being too aggressive in some cases and too, not aggressive in other cases, but it's learning. Like, you have to learn. What?
I'm wondering if I sounded passive aggressive the way I described your energy.
No. I didn't think so, but it's funny.
Ooh, it's making my head tingle.
Yeah.
Like mini thins.
You're stupid, I swear.
From high school. Mini thins.
Mini thins. Who's a Capricorn? Who do we got that's a Capricorn? Noella, is that you, Capricorn?
Who is it? Noella.
You probably would be able to know it, paranormal, and I don't know that everybody always meets them because it maybe isn't a lesson that you need to learn in life. I definitely do because, yeah. And it's funny because I know exactly who the person is and the type of person that it would take to irk me, and they are so much like me, but it's so much different in certain opposing aspects that it just throws me off.
Salt. Oh yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
If anybody doesn't recognize my magical name, so I have 2 magical names. One is Salon is my magical name. There is more to that name that is private, but it stands for salt. Like that's what it is. So that is part of my learning is to be more salty.
Well, you're doing a good job, baby.
Watch it, buddy.
Hey, that's funny, Dragon Dancer. That would be. I could use that skill.
And it's true, Dragon Dance. Like I never have projected my aura. People have always told me that, and lately, like people are stepping away from me, and I like it. I'm making people angry at work because I'm standing up for specific things and I'm being aggressive with it. And I'm trying to do that balance of being very clear to let people know how passionate I am about something without being an asshole. Not great at it yet, but better. But before, I just wouldn't say anything at all, and just I just don't say anything. So that's been a learning for me. Rook is not my twin flame. He is probably my soulmate.
Probably.
Well, I mean, you can have more than one. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh yeah, today's the really. Let's discuss now.
Yeah, oh, we can.
Today we were purposefully did our shirts. And, and I had to wear my glasses because contacts were just irritating my eyes. So yeah, I guess they are. Yeah, they are similar, huh?
Yeah,
my glasses.
I didn't notice that. But no, definitely not my twin flame. We have a very good set of boundaries between the two of us where if I get too annoying, he just literally ignores me. And if he gets too annoying, I just sing at his face or yell at something.
Yeah, I do have to say, though, with your increased projection, it is getting harder to walk away or ignore like I used to do.
We're going to have to hold up on y'all. We're going to mute for a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's good, though, because I know you're working on that, so that's good.
So one of the things that I've noticed when we're doing self-work or shadow work or learning about things is, well, number one, you're feeling what I've always felt from you because you're now on a medication that's taking you kind of to a level that I feel like I'm usually on.
So my fire is being managed better because I'm slower, processing.
More intentional.
Right.
And I am growing my fire because that is not an energy I have ever worked on. I've always been comfortable in earth, always in water, air, pretty much. But never have I really worked in fire. And so that's, his lesson is to control the fire. Mine is to stoke the fire. So that's kind of like the balance and things that we're working out. But again, you know, from a soul twin flame perspective, I don't think I've ever been irked or upset or I've been challenged by our relationship, but I've never been angered.
Yeah, we've never had a fight.
Not a real one.
No. It's up to 18, 19, 20,
we get snotty with each other sometimes, but...
In 15 years, I can say we've never had a fight because we just choose to, I think, what's really important and what's not, and then we'll just... I'll go read a book or something if you get on my nerves, and then circle back, and it's just not that serious.
Yeah, and I'm learning one of the things that I've always done from a shadow work perspective is I get annoyed early in the morning if there's a lot of noise.
And I sing in the morning, I used to, till I got on my meds.
Sagittarius. He's a Sagittarius. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
But
November 24th.
I can't stand noise in the morning. I need it pitched like so quiet, with the only noise being like maybe a spa noise.
Really?
Yes. You think I'm loud in the morning?
No.
You're lucky that I'm a Virgo, because not every Virgo would put up with this.
Well,
Pisces definitely could.
It's the right fit.
I can absolutely 100,000% see that, Melvin. 100%.
Taurus.
100%.
Yes, keep the fire going. I agree. Spicy.
Yeah. All right. One of the things that I think is symbolic of my my energy path, I think, is going to be embers. I've always been drawn to the idea of embers and coals, like hot coals, charcoal. I love it. And it kind of, to me, feels like the balance of earth and fire together being even would be an ember. So I want to work on that. It's kind of like one of my symbols. What?
Joy, she needs to feel the day, not hear it.
Yes. Thank you, Joy.
And Dragon Dancer.
So the second part of my learning and reminder from shadow work that I got recently was, it may annoy me a little bit in the morning to hear him singing, but if he didn't, I would be very upset because I would say something is wrong. So my mantra in the morning now is, do not be the reason that somebody who enjoys life stops singing. And I think I've even told you that a few times. I cannot be the person that would cause that to happen, because then I would be the asshole of the universe. Welcome in, Scarlet.
Hey!
I swear, every time I see Cuckoo Puff, I want to say Cocoa Puffs, but I know that's Cuckoo
Oh, Miss
Puff.
B in the house. Good morning.
Ms. B. That can be taken different ways.
Miss Bales.
So that is going to be fun. Like, we're going to work through that. So we're going to take that, it's, I think, pages like maybe 20 to 40, but 30 to 40-ish, which is the second half of chapter 2 of Tarot Shadow Work. We're going to go through those exercises and the meditations. I think we're going to make videos on those specifically to kind of just release them as like an addition to what we're already doing. And we're going to find hopefully some nice calming images and things to go along with them and just walk through some of those meditations.
I'm going to try my skills as an orator. How do you say it? Orator. And see if I can help people get into a meditative state.
Yeah. And we will.
That's a different video. I think it'll be fun.
Probably going to share our shadow altars on our next episode too. I want to get those in there because we're in the midst of getting that set up. But that meditation is going to be really big. Our next episode, episode 4, is going to be pretty short because it really is all the exercises for the most part.
Yeah, chat is popping. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you for spending some time with us on your Sunday.
Very much so. Agreed. So now we're going to move into, I think, our main... Oh, well, let's answer this first. Yes, you will eventually paranormal, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So here's the thing to me about shadow work, and this is where it becomes... what I really love about the Christine Jetty book, Tarot Shadow Work, which is the one we're using. Now, I've done shadow work before, and I say that a lot because I don't want people to think you have to have a book and tarot to do shadow work. You can do it without it. Like, it's not a requirement. We're just using this because we want to discover if this tool helps us do it in a better way or a different way, and it already has, which I can tell you, this is going to be on the top list of books I would recommend to people who want to work on themselves and just do better in general, regardless of what your traumas or your history is. But her preparation and her process is so open and inviting, it really brings you into that area. And a couple of things that she asks. You want to talk about when you think about this thing that you might want to work on. So if you are asking, do I have to dig deep into my abandonment issue? I feel you, number one, because I have significant abandonment issues. But if you're asking about it, that means it's there. It's in your unconscious. You are going to need to talk about it. It's going to come up. So you have to decide how deep you're willing to go into that initially. You don't have to go to the bottom of it to dig it out at the initial point. You bring it into space and you go through it and you process it as best you are able to, because remember, our goal is healing, not creating new injury when we're doing shadow work. And I think that's going to be really kind of key, so you won't need to be afraid of it because you're the one that's in control of how far you go with it. So you go through it for just a little bit each time, and then you maybe pull out, and then you can go deeper again the next time, and then you go deeper the next time. You're the one that's in control of how far you go, and you have to be really aware of at what point do I need to ask for help professionally, do I need to see therapy, and at what point do I need to be able to say no and recognize that I can say no. And I think those are the things in the tarot shadow work that are the most beneficial, more than the shadow work itself. It's the protection and that is protection magic, right? Meditation, getting prepared to go in deep and go internal and see some things.
And you're always safe. So paranormal, whatever comes up, that's one thing in the book. Just remember you're safe. You can leave at any time and come back to that. issue or part of shadow or not. So
Yep, and don't judge yourself for stepping out of it when it gets too hard, because you just. I would say don't judge yourself for stepping out if it's too hard, but judge yourself if you refuse to step back in, because you do need to step back in at some point and address it. But you know what? Even in my job, like I go through buildings that are an absolute mess and it's just terrible, but then I have to make a visit to somewhere that's not, because I need that breath of, it is going to be okay, I think. So, yeah.
cool.
I love that. It's funny. I can tell who's using the mobile to type and who isn't, because mine's just as bad when I'm typing.
Reconnection?
Yeah.
Or are we going back? We're reconnecting.
Oh, Operation Network. I skipped that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Operation Network. This is the post-COVID reconnection. We already talked about last weekend. So excited. I thought the solstice went very well. Yeah. I'm so glad you guys came over. I do kind of feel that our house and our location is a little bit more maybe a place for the socializing part of it, because even though I really enjoyed the ritual that we did.
It's awesome.
I just getting that sound healing and stuff at Casa Shanti or at Cosmic Connections, and then the other thing at Casa Shanti, that was the epic of the week for me.
Yeah.
So that's the connection. We're getting back out,
connecting to people.
Yeah.
And that's so good. You know, so many of us were isolated for a couple of years, and it's important to connect, whether it's online like with you guys, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We've met so many amazing people through Malice Experience, Ziggy, through Unexplained Possibilities, through the circle of people, now from the Cauldron Witch, from Steph.
Yeah, and we're bringing
Joy, and in person and electronically.
That's the thing to me,
Connected.
is connecting the two worlds that we're kind of sitting in between. That's what's most exciting for me.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Last week was very fun. I enjoyed it. You know,
It was a good week.
It was a very high energy week.
For spiritual things, we had Joy's talk at Casa Shanti, and then the ritual, and then Cosmic Connections.
I almost fell asleep on that one.
Yeah.
Anna is amazing. Like, if
awesome.
you guys are ever in Southwest Florida and you need to find a way that, like, if you get a massage for your body, you want a massage for your brain and your spirit, that sound healing is going to do that for you. That is too cool.
Scarlett, the intent of that, it's a tray.
It's a food serving tray
that we wanted to put. We wanted to put our cards that we draw later, or just want to show cards, and we thought it would show better than me holding them up to the camera, but it's not doing a great job because of somehow there's a glare. So
yeah, the camera that we use for that is a weird camera, and it just didn't work out. But so I got a really good conversation about Ouija boards though going earlier.
It sure did, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a food tray.
It's a
Target.
Yeah. It's a Target food tray for Halloween that we got a few years ago and used in our Halloween party, if anybody remembers that. Some of you were here for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does sound like we're going to have to do some spirit board discussion at some point. We'll make that a topic somewhere.
Yeah. That would actually be really cool. I would like that.
I would like to get an additional third person / expert / somebody who's done more with it than me to be present for that too. I'm comfortable for the most part. I feel pretty confident, but I would like somebody that's done it before, like live, or just has more experience with it than I do, to be with us and keep us from dying. No, I'm just kidding. Cone of Power.
Cone of Power, yeah. So
Unless you want to talk about something else, because I have to pee real quick.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Everybody's been so quiet too.
Oh, the dogs are being really good. I hate to say it, because now they're going to, Universe is going to have them start barking. Oh, that's cool. What did you say? Spirit channeling. Ooh, yeah. So Cone of Power, that's something that it's typically thought of as Wiccan, because that's where the phrase kind of came from Gerald Gardner. But the idea and practice has been around long before that. And I think the raising energy part or concept is really cool. Raising energy through visualizing, usually in a coven or group with a circle and having focus on a specific point. I actually read a little bit an article this morning about what Gerald Gardner described it, and he said that, you know, people would literally run up back and forth to the fire until they were exhausted, you know, shouting their intent or running around it and raising up the energy. And in this article it said the high priest or priestess would say when it was built enough and where to direct it. But
Yeah.
the idea of energy, whether you think the Wiccan phrasing or is appropriate or not, or thought process, you know, the idea of raising the energy, there is more energy with groups of people.
Yeah.
That
sure.
is definitely true. And when you're all focused on one thing, like Christians and prayer, but this to me is more powerful.
It's more intended, and it's
More
less about
intended.
asking God to do
Yeah.
something for you and more about taking your energy to do something else.
Right. I think it's a really cool process.
We've talked about the kind of energy thing before, and one of the things that's always struck me is why people think thoughts don't work. Now, granted, let's not get into the thoughts and prayers discussion, you know, sending your thoughts and prayers when action is necessary, because action is required. Action is
Yeah, sure.
the medium of the physical world, right? So action has to have action. It just is what it is. But energy-wise, if you think about it, just trace back the ancestry of your thought. So everything that's been coming out of my mouth today are all thoughts and ideas. Those thoughts, even without being spoken, are energy, right? Because if you're thinking, like right now, nobody knows what one word I'm thinking in my head, but I'm thinking it in my head. In order for me to think it, my body has to create adenosine triphosphate and other things to make the synapse connections, but that's the energy battery of the body, of the cells, to create that. So that energy has to come from something. Where does that energy come from? Well, it comes from water, oxygen, and the food that we eat, right? So where does the food that we eat come from? And where does the oxygen come from? The plants, the trees, the atmosphere. Where does that come from? Well, the sunlight is what powers the greens and the things to make oxygen in the plants. So now we've got the sunlight as the basis of everything that's happening in our mind. So that energy exists. You feel the radiation from the sun. Why do we not realize that the thought in our brain and the cells in our body are not the same thing? There's an interesting study that was done on what is the actual voltage of a cell. And if you take the voltage of a cell and you multiply it times the billions of cells that we have in our body, our voltage is like through the roof. Like we would be able to electrocute people if we were able to channel all of that into one space. So we are just full of that energy. And I think that's really important to kind of think about it. You know, your thoughts are energetic. They do come together. There is meaning in it. Even me moving my hands and arms, all of this that you're seeing came from the sunlight. Like that's where the energy to do any of this has come from. And then that from the Big Bang or whatever, I don't even know from that point. But the whole point and purpose of all that is that energy being used for what Gerald Gardner called the cone of power was just one way to imagine and identify it and put it together in the circle. But it's a really good visual. And Wiccan or not, I like the visual. It's helpful to me. But it is way older than that. If you go into research, there's actual documented research from, I think, the 1500s, even earlier, that this was something that was done in ancient times.
Hey, Kelly, thank you. Welcome in, and thank you for stopping by, and thank you for complimenting our walls.
Well, you were just holding that in, weren't you?
I was holding it in. I wanted to say, welcome, Kelly, for like 2 minutes.
All right, continue on with Cone of Power.
I had to be responsive to the chat.
I'm kidding.
That's one thing I think we do well. Yeah.
Thank you. It's even prettier in person. So if you look behind us, you can kind of see that wall is purple. This one to the window side is black. So we've got black and purple accents.
Yeah.
We just need to do out there and then paneling up there at some point.
So you can kind of see that this is black. The difference between the purple and the black.
Yeah.
I'm backwards. Purple,
Yeah.
black. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. We this is our witch room. It's basically a formal dining and then an extra living area that we converted.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I keep saying that every weekend we talk about we need to do a video on all of our altars because you're sitting right now at this is our workshop table. This is where we make our face washes. This is where we kind of do all of that stuff and all the worky stuff. We have an outdoor one too.
We need to do a workshop soon. I feel like we
haven't done
one
in a while.
The palm enders was the last one.
Scrying mirrors. Wasn't that before?
I can't remember. We need to do a workshop soon.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe something for Lunasat.
But we also have, you can't really see it, but behind us is our central altar, and the candelabra you see is our dual element candle.
Oh yeah, this one.
But we have our altar behind us. We have the bookshelf. Center of the bookshelf is our earth, and then we have our that's our dual elements.
No, that shows up.
Why are you showing it over here? Show it over. No, I'm just kidding. He got my energy all worked up now because he said I was too aggressive or too red or too
I did not say too.
He infirmed it.
I said I can
feel. Infirmed isn't a word. Inferred it.
I said I can tell.
That is our east altar set up over here, and then we have our west water altar right here that you can't see. Well, you can see the back end of it, and then we have our ancestor altar with the dragon layer and all that stuff. So we need to do a full walk around.
We could do that
at some point. Antique store, Fort Myers, where we got that. Ooh, so back to the cone of power. I don't think there's that much more to say on it, though.
No.
It's really about working the power. You can do it as an individual. You don't need this whole big...
Yes, it is. Very true, Steph.
What's true?
It looks like the very Disney haunted mansion. The candelabra.
It really is, isn't it?
It is.
That's
funny. I think the same thing.
So yeah, and then obviously bookshelf has the books on it, and over here you'll see that's all of our herbs and oils. We keep a good stock of that. So we need to do those tinctures. We made a couple of tinctures, and then we made them so long ago I don't remember what they are.
What do you want?
Current events?
Current events.
You brought it up last time, so you can bring it up this time.
Oh, well, yeah. Last week I talked about the gas going up and the supply and why. Because of I don't remember, but the factories, some of them being shut down and then not making new or opening new petroleum factories because people are worried about the electric vehicles if the demand will go down. But I don't think Steph would agree, but this says gas prices decreasing across the country. South Carolina among largest decreases. From MSN.com, not much, but a little. U.S. average is dropping slowly due to decreased demand and oil costs. Is that due to electric vehicles?
No, I don't think so. But it's also, remember, it's an average of the entire United States. They're not talking about specific areas. Your highest gas is obviously California, New York, Pacific Northwest, for sure. So those areas are all kind of really elevated, but it has dropped. It has dropped.
18 cents.
I think I'm not even going to get into my personal belief and thought on all that stuff, but I don't know.
Drill, baby, drill.
There's a lot that could be done to ease that pressure, and I think people are just like, you know what, I'm not freaking paying that much money to fill up my car and drive anywhere, so people are going to stay home even more, which is going to hurt the economy even more, which is blah, 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 you know.
$7, that's ouch.
Yeah, and I think our... the highest I think it got for me was like 5-something in Philadelphia when I was up there last. That was like, it's like $5.20 a gallon for regular.
You know, I have nurse aides because we both work in the same industry, and I'm an administrator at a nursing home, and I just don't know how they make it with the cost of. Well, I do know how. They have to have 3 or 4 people living together. With the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, I just don't know. I mean, some kind of relief needs to come, because I don't know how people make it. It's tough right now for everybody.
Yeah, it's even tough for us, and we're pretty comfortable. I'm losing my brain, y'all. I don't know if I'm tired.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That's crazy. 1 bedroom for average of 700,000. 3 bedroom in an area, 3 million. I can see that.
Well, that's how it was in Northern Virginia. Remember, it wasn't quite that bad.
Not that bad, but yeah.
I mean, we were paying almost $2,000 for a 300-bedroom efficiency. 300 square foot efficiency.
Yeah, in Northern Virginia.
No bedroom.
And that was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Next switch over luxury homeless. Oh wow, luxury homeless on the curb, 1.5 million. Goodness gracious. Oh.
Yeah, and that's not going to get better. Unfortunately.
Jeez.
That is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Topanga. I used to love that name.
Ooh, cool. The smoke. Oh, going next to the crystal ball.
Oh yeah, it makes it glow really cool.
1 bedroom condo. My gosh.
Yeah, it's insane. Ooh, that one's popping.
Oh, West LA.
That is a neat effect. Well, it looks like there's an alien face in it. Look.
An alien face.
You see it right in the middle?
Looks like something. Huh.
I see 2 eyes and a Cheshire grin.
Cool. So next topic. You ready to move to?
Yeah.
Roe versus Wade. So yesterday, like you said, it was, and I'll admit, man, Friday and into yesterday morning, I was, I don't have a uterus, but I was very angry.
Really?
No, I don't. Very angry, and I went on my rants on Facebook and all of that, but now it's time for me to do work on it, right? We're very passionate when things happen like this. Just like we were kind of passionate for us 2016 on the Marriage Equality Act and things, but now is the time really, to be writing letters, sending postcards, peacefully marching, demonstrating, and if you feel called to do so and are able to donate to Planned Parenthood or state and local organizations. I did see a couple articles yesterday in North Carolina, which surprised me actually. North Carolina, that governor is not stopping abortion in California also. So
there's a couple that are going to. It's just going to divide us even more.
To me, the issue, and of course I'm not a woman, for me it's a personal thing. When I was about 22, one of my biggest regrets, if you can call it that, is a friend of mine asked me to come over to her house and just hang out with her to make sure she was safe and okay. And she was kind of down after having to make that decision. And she even prefaced it when she came to me and said, "Look, I know you don't believe in abortion." She goes, "But I could really use a friend tonight." And I didn't go, and that is the biggest regret that I had. She didn't ask me to go with her to the clinic, which I should have done had she asked me. But I just really regret that, and I said I will never. I will always fight for people's right, even if I don't agree with it. If I were a woman, I don't know what I would do in that situation, and it's not for me to say or no. But I think that when we get into taking away people's rights, that's pretty dangerous shit. And that's what has me so mad about it. And I'm not going to get into political stuff because it doesn't matter. Left, right, middle. Our representatives have failed us overall, whether it's driven by conservatives or liberals or whoever, the spaghetti monster. I think they really have. And I think we need to band together as people peacefully. Now, would I be sad if lightning happened to strike from the universe, the justices that were a part of this? No. Would I be sad if the earth opened up and swallowed them as they were leaving the Supreme Court or going to work? No. But I don't ever advocate for violence. And I think the way to get things done is to, when you're passionate about something, is to write those letters, go to your capitals peacefully, make donations, and support each other. So mine's kind of a personal thing because of my friend and the regret I have. But, when rights start being taken away, that is very dangerous. No matter who's doing the taking away or who's championing it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the ultimate thing, it kind of goes to what Dragon Dancer said. Basic rights should not be different from state to state. And that's the thing. I get, and I am, many of you probably know, I grew up in a household, well, not many of you probably don't know actually. I grew up in a household that was very, strongly Republican and conservative, I should say, in their values. No problem with that. Until I reached into the church and blah, 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 shit happened, whatever. Switched over to being a Democrat. Found out that Democrat's just the exact same thing as a Republican, but with a D instead of an R. Yeah. There's no difference. Got involved in libertarian movements and other things and just realized that when it comes down to it, I don't believe in big government. I don't believe the government should be controlling many things. But because people are assholes, we need laws to protect people's basic human rights. You are so allowed to believe what you want to believe. But the moment that belief affects what I'm doing, it just isn't part of what should be happening. And it comes down to, really going out and thinking about what capabilities do I have? Like, if I had to pick a side and say I am for or against abortion, I'm against it. I don't believe it's okay. I don't believe it should be a thing. Well, in some circumstances, I think that, but just in general, I'm like, I probably wouldn't be for it. But I don't get that choice because I don't have a motherfucking uterus. I just can't. I just don't get that choice. And you have to draw the line somewhere and allow the balance to be where it is, I just don't think that that's okay for us to make that decision for somebody else.
And I was very, inappropriate on my post. I was mad.
You didn't advocate for death, though. There is a difference between making violence a thing. Yeah. So Rook being careful, we're not making a threat, obviously. So if you took it that way, then I would be very careful about your comprehension.
I would be, but I was pretty, I was nasty.
Well, think about it, too.
The language was pretty bad.
If you believe in a basic human right, you kind of have to be aggressive to get it, right? Yeah. Like, blood has been shed over these things before, and it's unfortunate it shouldn't be that way because nobody's willing to balance out the side. But ultimately, is there a true right and wrong is what it really comes down to. Without going political, like, is something inherently right or wrong? Like, Malice has talked about this a bunch of times. Murder, is it inherently wrong? Are there times where it's okay to murder a human being that's next to you? Like, is it okay for me to kill you if, you try to kill me? Well, yeah. So it's not inherently wrong. So and that's where you have these value differences and these very, value and moral differences and, whatever you stand for. You should be passionate about it. And if we disagree on that, we should be passionate about that disagreement. But at some point, we have to come together as disagreeers on what's the real reason or the real thing that comes down here. And if we can't say that it's, when life begins, because we don't know. I don't care who you are, you don't know. Just don't. When does life end? We don't know that either. We can be very strong in our convictions that there's no afterlife. We can be very strong in our convictions that there are no demons. We can be very strong in our convictions that there are no angels. But that doesn't mean it is or isn't true, or that there is or isn't an afterlife. We don't know. So when those things come up, we have to be able to suggest and allow ourselves as a universe, as a community, as a world, to have the basic human rights of how to handle my own body. And if they're going to take a woman's ability to handle her own body away from her, there's nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if we can get married. We're telling people they can't do what they want with their own body. Like, I don't understand that at all.
I don't either. And thank you, Joy, for sharing that personal. That's an example, that That thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
and thank you, Steph. I know I get where you're coming from, and
Agreed.
Definitely. My dad reached out and he said, "Hey, you might want to be careful. You know, you can." And you're right. You know, we should be careful with how we position things because there are consequences to things you put, and you can never, even if you delete a post or something, you can never take it down. I mean, you can take it down, but you can't. It's not really gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Especially if somebody's taking
I
a
get
picture
it.
of it somewhere.
Yeah, no. I totally get what you mean, stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, and I probably shouldn't have said it that way either. That's part of my super red hot fire that's coming out lately. So I apologize for that.
I appreciate.
Shouldn't have
it.
said it that way.
I appreciate the your intent and what you're saying. Yeah. So what did you find here? I didn't find this about new planets.
Yes, no, not new planets. By the way, Pluto's a planet. I don't care what anybody says because that's what I was taught. 2 new rocky Earth-sized planets were found orbiting another star. They do not have the ability to have life on them, but they are very similar to the Earth, and it's going to allow a lot more studies to be done. I like astronomy and astrology, but using the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, known as TESS, these 2 rocky planets were found. One has a temperature, surface temperature of about 500 degrees estimated. The other one 800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a lot of Celsiuses for those of you that are in Celsius. But I just don't know how many Celsiuses that is. But the point is, really cool that we've been able to find the evidence of other planets that we can kind of study and go through the process and kind of see how that stuff works. Even though we're currently trashing Mars and we don't even have people on there yet, which pisses me off because, we ruin everything we touch.
Yeah.
We do.
Human beings were pretty crappy some ways. Scarlett, that's a neat thought. I was looking into that like 20 years ago. Does anybody know if it's true that to move to Canada, do you have to prove that you have the ability to secure a job or have to have secured a job before you move?
That is still same. Both.
You do? You have to show that. So basically you're showing you're going to be productive.
Yeah, you have to have, there has to be a balance. They're keeping balance. And I only know that because there's a couple people that I work with that are from Canada that kind of keep me up to date on Canada things. And you know what? It's not any better in Canada than it is. That's just not how it works. Like, everybody's going to have their shit, and every state is going to have their really good and really bad shit. It's just unfortunate that some of the bad shit is human rights. Like, you know what? If you want to regulate people through the yin-yang, fine. Like Florida. People think Florida's like, oh, this open area.
It's not.
It's not. We can't build on our land the way we want to build. Like, we have to follow the rules of the county. We pay taxes. We can't build the thing we want to build in the way we want to build it. Like, so it's just, but that's fine.
In our city, we can't get a freaking storage shed without a permit.
Yeah.
We cannot buy an RV and park it out.
We can't park an RV in our driveway, even though we have room.
We can't. Well, it used to be where we live, you could not have commercial work vehicles, like even like a truck, if you were construction or whatever it was, with a branding on it. That's kind of loosened up, but it's not everything here that it's cracked up to be.
I'm with you, Scarlett. If I can make it work, I would go, but I don't know about them winters.
The winters, I kind of got away from snow.
But somehow, some way, I would not want to go. Like, I would not want to go to a major city. I would want to be rural, and I feel like that would be some of the most intense magic. Being out in that nature and reconnecting to nature, I think that would be kind of cool. But it wouldn't be because of what's happening here. I don't want to leave this country just because they don't do things that I don't like, or the states, because I feel like it's going to get better. I still, in my deepest heart, and maybe I'm just naive, I feel like this step back is like literally loading the spring to pop forward. It's going to take time, but I think it's going to change.
Ooh, now Italy? Now that's a different story. That sounds cool.
Sounds cool, but I don't know anything about it.
I don't know any, but that would be beautiful.
But I was never one that's like, oh, I'm going to move to Canada if Trump wins or whatever. Or, this.
No.
I want to go to Canada because I want to see that nature, but I don't know if I want to deal with the
cold.
Cold, yeah.
I just like Florida too much.
It's okay, Scarlett. I understand. We're interpreting pretty. I think we're good.
Really
Although,
good.
yeah, that was a good one.
Ruala as fuck. Yes. Oh, Ruala as fuck equals yes.
Well, actually, she wrote as less than yes, if we want to be very specific.
Hey,
too funny.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
God, the food would be amazing. And Italy.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
I would
anything
absolutely
else?
go. Yeah.
It's 12:30 almost.
Mm-hmm. That's the sad part, Paranormal. We understand.
Yeah. Too wet and moist.
Did you have to say moist? Like, it's too wet and moist. It's a terrible word. But yeah.
Mindset. Yeah. What word would you rather people say or descriptors? Would you rather say water impregnated versus moist?
Saturated.
Water saturated.
You don't even have to say water saturated. You say Florida's air is too saturated. It's like swimming through the air. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I have to go to the
Seriously. Alright, so I'm going to wait for you to go to your potty break. Bring it back in A&W when you come back.
Sure.
We're going to switch over to tarot.
The tarot wrap up.
That was really well placed. Really well placed there, Scarlett. Alright, Paranormal, let me scroll up. Oh, yeah, I completely missed it. How do I feel when kids try to do... Oh, I want to know your definition of kids. That's the second question you've asked about kids, but what are you talking about when you say kids? Just so that I'm clear. Because when kids do it, it's fun. Like, I think that's pretty cute sometimes. But, you know, let me know what you think, what that means is. Like, you're just talking about other people in general. Because I have some pretty specific thoughts on love spells. Swimming through the air, yes. Although it's not been quite... Well, that's a lot of shit. I was going to say it hasn't been as bad lately, but literally as soon as you step outside, you're sweating. Like, it's just weird. Scarlett, I'm putting you first on the list, but anybody else who wants to know... who wants to pull a card? I will pull one. Rook will pull one. And we will go as long as we can until 1 o'clock. And if we can't get through everybody by 1 o'clock, we may be able to squeeze some in, but then that'll be it. Teenagers. So, if I'm saying teenagers, then, hold on, let me just make sure. Called in which? All right. I mean, really, kids, teenagers, are they really doing, Anna Maria Island is so nice, for sure. Honeymoon Island, oh, love it. By us, it's Captiva and Sanibel. Like, it's so gorgeous. Oh, my God. But back to the question, I'm not really good about, like, how this works for, teenagers, because teenagers are capable of doing magic, right? And I think that they're in a good spot to do it. I think that sometimes they're a little too aggressive, and perhaps the spells will backfire, or the energies will backfire, or they might read into a response that could actually change how they are acting. So think of it this way: somebody who's not very experienced, or who's having difficulty, or doesn't really have all the knowledge that they need to do something, tries to do love spell magic, and that love spell magic doesn't work, the outcome is negative, they may take that on as a formal response, or a formal behavior that carries them on into the future world, you know, as they become adults, and it might actually mess up how they have their relationships. And I think that's something that's kind of scary when you don't really know what you're doing. That is very sweet, Scarlett. I will actually see if I can figure out how to do that. I've never considered it and never done that, but if you're asking, I will see if there's a way I can put it up there someday. I just have not done it. But thank you for even mentioning that. I appreciate that. I just enjoy doing it. So, and Rook is in there eating chips, thinking I don't hear him. After waiting for him to come back. So, yeah. Ooh, that is toasting.
He's mad at me.
No, he's gonna help with the read, huh?
He's going mad.
All right, so,
So may I take a moment to plug our friends?
you sure can. I'm being yelled at right now, though.
Well, you are. Ooh, that's some
I'm
good
just kidding.
smoke.
Yeah, this is just a regular Sumatran benzoin that I really enjoy.
So this is a good point. In our Discord, do we have a section like Adius does where friends can go and pop when they're going live and all that cool stuff?
I honestly don't know how to set that up. Like, I'd have to have Malice do it.
I'd like for him to do that, and then
Because I don't know how that works.
before anybody gets off, I do want to honor our friends and community. So, if you're on Instagram, check out Lady Rose 819. That's Paranormal Witch. She does an awesome blog. She's got some great blogs. Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. From the Cauldron Witch does some awesome tarot. We got reads. Thank you last Sunday, Steph, for the reads. They were spot on and awesome and very helpful. Check out From the Cauldron Witch on Instagram. Does Scarlett have one? Does she do anything that she wants?
Yes, Scarlett does. She also has a Facebook, but it's a little bit different. I don't know the actual
Okay.
link to it.
Would Nate allow us to tell his?
I'm sure.
YouTube?
Yeah. Nate Bales and Scarlett, both of you have a channel. I know that. I just don't know all the details of like what you guys put on there specifically. I know Nate does. I've seen a lot of his videos. It's really cool. So
On YouTube, Unexplained Possibilities with an S. Melvin has a freaking cool podcast for the paranormal,
Brain Witch 666.
all things.
I love that. Scarlett. Yeah, we're gonna get up a link section, I think, and put that in the
Yeah.
Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord, and if somebody, well, I guess Paranormal would be the only one that can actually do a link, but I don't know if you know how to do an invite from the Discord Paranormal. I don't even know if she's in it.
Did I leave anybody out? I got Paranormal, Unexplained Possibilities, From the Cauldron Witch, Adius Dade on YouTube
And Twitch.
and Twitch. On YouTube, is it Adius Dade, ATIUSDADE, or is it Mr. Malice?
I'm not sure which one he has where anymore. Yeah, that is too funny.
So please check out these great folks. Paranormal Witch, Lady Rose 819 on Instagram, From the Cauldron Witch on Instagram, Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube, and you said Miss Scarlett's, right?
And we're
Nate.
Scarlett's Brain Witch 666 and Nate Bales also on YouTube. We will get a section set up where we have all this linked in there in the Discord. I know there's an automatic way to do it too. I don't know how to do that, like the bot thing. That's beyond my pay grade, y'all. So let me.
Ooh, I'm sorry. You can come too, From the Cauldron Witch Tarot. Maybe I left the tarot off. From the Cauldron Witch Tarot. Thanks for putting that in there.
Yes.
From the Cauldron Witch Tarot.
So let's do it this way.
On Insta.
If you have a moment, so that we don't miss, I can pull all the YouTube ones and all the like Twitch type stuff. But if you have a website or a channel, please feel free to share that in the Discord. Like, just pop it in there. And if you're not in the Discord, I'm going to try to get a link for that in there. That way we can kind of make a little list of all of that stuff together for you. I do want to go back because there's been a lot of conversation about this, and I've been just waiting for Brad to finish, unlike he did for me, and kind of just jumped in the middle of something. I want to clarify, like, love spells to me, I 100% agree with all of you. We shouldn't be manipulating others to love us. If I'm doing a love spell, it's never for another person to love me. It is for me to put out whatever works for me to make myself known and available for the right person. So love spells to me aren't the directive for somebody to come in specifically. The love spell it's almost like putting, if you play Ark, it's putting the animal in mating mode. It's allowing love to happen. So a love spell for, let's say I'm single and I want a love spell. The love spell is how do I get myself into a space where I am seen by others, consciously or unconsciously, as available, and so that the right person can walk into my life. It wouldn't be something specific for me. So it's really about setting yourself up for love, not setting somebody else's to be manipulated to love you, because that will never work. Well, it may actually work, but it will never be a positive thing in the long run.
Look at Boo Boo.
I see him.
He's ignoring you, isn't he, Finn? I know.
I love my Bubba.
He's ignoring you.
Bubby.
He wanted to give you a kiss. See?
Yeah, I get a little kiss from Bubby.
Look at Bubba. I love you, buddy.
Why can't I shuffle these cards all of a
Hey,
sudden?
Bubba.
I've been shuffling them before. Yeah. See, and I'm fine. Like I said, I'm fine with love spells, but to me, the love spell really has to be for the individual to love themselves and to be open to love and to set things up for love and to be available for love and to keep their eyes open for love. But it can't be, again, personal opinion, for Johnny Appleseed to fall in love with me because that's who I like. Like, that is a big problem for me. So.
Well, that's your practice.
Yeah, the receiving into that is that's a thing. That's a problem. So let me just make sure our list is good. So we have Scarlet, and then Cauldron Witch, and then Kayla, and then Dragon Dancer, then Joy, then Paranormal. Witch. Anybody I missed, please just pop your name in there. I'll throw you in there. I'm going to pull one card. Rook is going to pull a card, and then we will read. I don't know if you want this. I'll put this out for you.
Who are we doing first?
Scarlet.
Oh.
Scarlet. I just want to see. I want to see where they.
Which way do these go?
So inspiration is wands, makes sense. Cups are emotions, makes sense. Swords are voices, makes sense. And pentacles are materials. Okay, so those are readable. So we were right. Voices is which makes sense.
I wish I could shuffle like Steph. She's fast. She's fast and good.
Excuse me? That's not what it means, I think, to people.
What? Yeah, with her shuffling. What? Kelly!
Got it. You're on the board.
Okay. Materials are earth, I guess. Yeah. 10 of materials.
Yeah. We're using the Muse Tarot Joy. I really wanted to use Light Seers. I have 2 copies of it, and both of them are empty boxes, so I have no clue what happened to them. Well, I'm waiting for Rook to pull one.
Okay.
Now we can pull them. Look, that's funny. So we got 2 voices. Ah! Voices are air, and this actually card actually was pulled earlier today as an example.
It was pulled as an example. All right. 3 of voices.
Start with the 3 of voices.
Girl.
I was waiting for him to finish shuffling. That took like 10 years. Hopefully you can see
so
that.
You know that I shuffled, at least.
Yeah. So the 3 of voices in traditional tarot would be your 3 of swords, right? And unfortunately, what is that symbolism? That's the heart with 3 swords through it. Now, interestingly, also, I have pulled the 3 of swords in like at least the last 2 weekly reads and in 2 or 3 of my private reads recently. And so 3 of Swords is coming up a lot, and we know that 3 of Swords generally represents heartache, heartbreak. Something's going to kind of distance itself from a process or something. So to me, my first thought is there's somebody that's in your life that's a friend that you care about that's maybe not going to be a friend anymore. So you're having a loss of a friendship or a loss of a relationship of some sort. And that is also going to kind of coincide with the card that Rook has, but I'm going to let him read it. I don't know if you want to.
Well, I see two people.
Yeah, so the Muse.
It's a weird one.
Excuse me.
Can't see it. I want to be able to see this because it's a pretty.
Here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. You might not see us, but this way you'll be able to.
Yeah, the cards are more important than us. See how it's blurry. I want you to focus. Maybe it's because of my fingers.
Sorry, I went too far there. I gotta fix it. Sorry, guys, we're live time changing here. It's focused enough. Like, it's just because it's the type of thing it is. So this is the Muse of Voices, which in this deck is actually kind of like the King. So I have your page here if you want to read it.
Yeah,
But
that's weird. I get two people.
Yeah.
I don't get like a king energy. To me, I get two people.
Yeah.
The one friend may be removed, but the two people are stronger is what I get out of this.
Yeah, this is the Three of Voices is definitely going to be the ending of a friendship or a group of some kind of thing that's really, really emotionally important to you. But the Muse, like you said, it's going to be an inspiration, right? The other will be inspired. So really cool that the Muse in this deck is. Yeah. It was showing. Why do you keep saying it wasn't?
I mean, it was showing, but it was.
You gonna read?
Yeah, I don't get a king out of this, but communicating truth, intuitive knowing, integrity, directness, honest leadership, diplomacy, finding spiritual truth and purpose, bird's eye view, blending strategy with intuitive knowing, avoiding manipulation, walkway of consciousness. The Muse of Voices dances freely at the gates of enlightenment, drawing heavily on both experience and inner clarity. She knows that what her mind creates and what it receives from the world are both based on her own perception of the facts. And yet she also knows the collective truth, agreed upon reality, is what we must use to share our dance of joy. She whispers to speak clearly and to step into your position as an unbiased truth-telling leader. Allow the wind to whisk you past any voices that seem to stand in the way between you and your dreams. Be authoritative when it comes to honesty and integrity, and blend diplomacy and intellect on your way to transcendence. Steer clear of showy displays made with the false beauty of smoke and mirrors. Will allow you to focus on the art of the mind and to put your head in front of your heart while you find your voice and use your tools of perceptive independence.
Yeah. I like that.
That's
so
nice.
The Muse as a king is not like the king of control. It's the king of all of the things pulled together. And I like that the Muse is represented as a feminine energy too, because I often say and feel like the energies that we do are really. The Queen is the full embodiment of the particular tarot to me.
Huh.
So.
Kind of.
100% makes sense. So while I might agree with you, I don't necessarily see king in the Muse card. I understand where the author of the deck is coming from. I think. Yeah, we're getting it on with the autocorrect. So yeah, that's too funny. So we are getting energy, right, of ending and beginning, which is usually how it goes. You know, that's how life is. One ends, one begins. Cartman. Respect my authority. Jesus. Like 30 cards just flipped out. What in the heck?
Chat publicly. I don't know what happened.
It's this is going into sleep mode. That's all. Alright. So Scarlett, that is the read for today. The 2 cards. Hopefully it helps out a little bit. We now will be moving to Stephanie, Cauldron Witch. From the Cauldron Witch and from the Cauldron Witch Tarot.
Y'all.
Do you... let's see what's in your cards. Do you? I don't even know what I was going to say there. I think we're just doing 1 and 2 card pulls. We'll just go ahead and pull for you. I don't think we're going to do any specific questions that'll slow us down. We want to kind of be done by 1.
So
just so
Stephanie can do hers.
everybody has stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh.
Have a good day, Scarlett. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. At 10. That's so weird. It's like almost 1 o'clock. She's
Oh my
fine at
God.
10.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for stopping in very much. Finn is licking my toe.
Buddy.
I just realized I left this up
Oh.
because we're shuffling without those other cards in.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my card though.
Okay.
But yes, we gotta put those back
That's
in.
how it should have been, but.
That is too funny. Well, while he's shuffling, just for time-wise, and I'll show you the card when he's done because I need to see it and feel it for a little bit. But this is the Knight of Emotions. So think Knight of Cups in traditional tarot, and it is inverted. One of the things that's interesting on this card is there is a Fibonacci number sequence here, like a half nautilus shell, and that generally represents like the as above, so below for me. Also a horse, which represents the strength, endurance, and communicating with wild and usefulness as a group together, meaning the horse and the horse rider. But you throw all of that into the Knight of Emotions, or the water field, and what you get is a little bit of a warning to not let emotions fly out of space, or fly out of center, I should say would be a better form. So in other words, we talk about as above, so below. We talk about how there are patterns in the world and in the universe that can be broken down and kind of connect these things. So it's just a reminder that all of the connections that you have and all of the things that are going in right now in your emotional state or your emotional status of life is little, I don't want to say it's not out of balance, it's just heightened. You're feeling, to me, from what I see, you're feeling very confident. You're feeling very good about where you are in your emotions, but you are wanting and looking for a new experience somewhere. That new experience is not going to feel good initially, but it will start coming around for you. So whatever it is, whether it's learning a new system or a new process or taking on a client or a new, what do you call a person that you mentor? A new student, I guess. That's kind of what this is saying to me. Is like you're looking for something else right now that needs to come in and maybe kind of just reinvigorate you in what you're doing. Your confidence is good. Your comfort is good. You feel like you're in a good place, but you're kind of looking for something more on an emotional fulfillment scale. And it is really saying to look out and around you in your environment, not necessarily inside as an invert. So that's what the Knight of Emotions or Knight of Cups would say to me inverted for you. It's again, look around you, look for the patterns, and help that experience something new for you that you're really interested in or you really want to do that you maybe haven't spent a lot of time on.
Okay, and you saw I shuffled these really well.
You did.
It's a pretty card.
Yeah.
Seven of Emotions.
Seven of Emotions.
This side. All right.
I'm with you. We are going to find a better solution for this next time, for sure.
That's so good. Seven of Emotions. Keywords: daydreaming about the future, collapsing a choice into reality. All things possible lie before her, and she is fantasizing about having them all. These swimming beauties, there's 7 fish below the lady, are so alluring that they're hypnotizing her. She watches, knowing that today she can select just one opportunity. They look quite similar at first glance, but when she goes deeper, they all have nuances. The muse shines light down into the water to help her clarify her choices. Some are bejeweled and tempting, some bewitched and triumphant. Some hide danger, and some are unable to see in front of them. All these beautiful little fins glimmer softly, vying for her attention, and she is being asked to choose one for her future. Like her, you must decide which choice aligns with your truth and settle on it. Lean toward that which brings you grounded happiness and move from thinking into choosing and decide. Huh. 7 fins from the future.
And so that kind of fits with
Emotion.
the same. Oh, that's strong.
Yes.
Kind of fits with the same emotion, with the Knight of Emotions too. You know, that smells so good though, doesn't it?
It does.
So this to me is kind of saying, you're feeling pretty balanced. You're feeling pretty good about stuff in general, and things are going well emotionally for you. But there's something that you need new to help fulfill and or direct that emotion into something. That's kind of what I'm getting out of that. Choices are important. All right, Kayla, we still in the house?
Oh, Kayla.
His house.
Aqua Beautiful. That's her name for me today, Aqua Beautiful.
You're weird.
I hope that's okay.
Oh, the hair color. Okay, I get it.
Aqua Beautiful.
It took me a minute. I'm slow. Stupid. Yeah, bring something new in. Outlet that emotional energy. Again, good. That felt very comfortable energy-wise. But you have it to direct now and kind of move into something that might bring you some more fun stuff. They are, and it's weird. So far, they've been very similar. We're getting a lot of water cards today.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what did I say earlier last night? Might need to throw some water on all this fire energy. I think today we're throwing a little water on the fire energy.
Now who was right?
Now who was right? Me?
You.
Okay. Let me see what happened here. Did I get one upside down card? Yep. Sorry, I've shuffled an upside down card or two in here, and I'm just flipping them back, and now we are going to have to reshuffle.
New cat.
New cat?
New cat. Ooh. Yeah, which one are you going to pick? Get a Himalayan. No, get the hairless one.
Who's getting a new cat?
No, she's saying, could it be a new cat? Yeah.
Oh.
One more would be great. It's 3.
Lord, one more?
Yeah, you'd have the power of 3.
Oh, dear.
A hairless one.
Jesus. All right, let's see what we get for Miss Kayla. We have the 6 of materials. All right, so let's call materials pentacles or stones or
Aqua Beautiful.
whatever you call.
I'm sorry, I'm connecting. I'm sorry.
Digital download. We don't need that dial-up sound anymore that you got.
Aqua Beautiful.
So 6 of materials. This is a really pretty card. Look at that. It's very. This is all about Earth. When we talk about the sixes are sandwiched right in the middle of the minor arcana, and we talk about things that are in even numbers are generally organized and consistent and balanced and even. And so we're talking about life in general. So something. Maybe you're in the middle of a process or in the middle of environmental changes, which is what the 6 is really talking about. You're right smack in the middle of Earth, right? So draw a little bit more Earth in. You're going to have to pull in some things because it is inverted. And so that means whatever this change is or whatever this new, this being in the middle of a transaction or something that's happening, it's going to be very rocky at first. And for a minute, it's going to feel like it's not going to go through, but it will. So 6 of materials is kind of like, okay, You know, I just went through like something that's really tough. I got everything sorted out. We're balanced. We're good. We're ready to go to the next step. I'm like, ah, shit. Now I got to do this, and this is going to happen, and this. So a lot of things are going to keep coming up in the way. But if you keep processing, keep moving through it, you'll be fine. And this is in the realm of Earth, in the realm of the whether it's home, whether it's you know, travel, whether it's financials. Things are not good yet. They're kind of stuck in the middle, but it will have a positive outcome if you pay attention to what's happening around you and just stick with it. That'll be kind of tough. And interesting, your second card is also an inverted 6.
Yeah, 6 of voices. And that just tells me to, like, if something's going on with people around you, be aware of what they're saying. You are pretty good to see through bullshit, and this is telling me just keep focused on that and what people close to you, what advice you might be getting, and use your own mind. Keep that mind sharp and trust your intuition about what's going on.
Yeah.
I got that very strong without needing to think. That's just what came through on this one to me.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the 2 6s together, being read together, and it's just a 2-card draw, so your 6 energy is really present. From a numerological standpoint, that's actually a really positive, a very structurally sound number, but they're both inverted. So that means you're still going to attain it, but it's going to be a lot harder to attain it than you think, or than you want it to be. Timeline is still going to be the same. Things are still going to move the way they need to move, but you're going to get very nervous about it first. But everything will work out the way it's supposed to, and it will work out soon. And it's just going to stress you out like a hell of a lot, and you're going to think for a minute that it's not going to, like, you're going to go, oh shit, this isn't going to happen, is it? And it actually will.
Yeah, be aware of what people are telling you.
Yeah.
Like you are. I mean,
Yeah.
you seem very intuitive, and go with that.
Stick with it.
Yeah, be aware of what's going on around you. You need some more smokage.
I know, it's just going out.
Smoke them out. It's hard to talk with a barrel in your mouth.
All right,
Bring 'em
Dragon
out, bring 'em
Dancer.
out. Where are your incenses?
We have a dancer of dragons in the house.
I want to be a dragon dancer.
I can't believe Malice thought I was... Somebody, who was it that thought I was playing with my nipples? Was that Malice?
Yes, yesterday.
Like, whenever I do my cards, I kind of hold them, like, to my heart, and, like, as I'm, like, putting them together.
You're nipple rubbing.
I'm not nipple rubbing.
Which we use in this one? Oh no, this one. What is this?
Yeah, that's a benzoin. I'm trying to get a smaller piece.
Yeah, benzoin. That's a good one. Oh, why is it?
Yep, you should be doing you. We all should be doing us.
There. This will be a good one. I love benzoin. Copal is another one. Clean them babies out.
Cats and crystals. There's actually nothing wrong with that.
Nothing better
I
than.
have a pretty hardcore crystal collection, and I'm looking for some more pieces. This is like my second favorite Sumatran benzoin.
So they've been cleansed by nipple rub and by smoke.
I have 2 people, Joy. I have Dragon Dancer still here, and then Joy, you are right next. We're going to keep going. I know it's 1 o'clock, but we're going to go until we get to the end, because, yeah, we just may speed up just a hair.
Yeah.
No, there you go. All right, Dragon Dancer. Guess what? The first card is I pulled for you.
Ooh,
You can only imagine.
beautiful.
The moon. I feel like this came up in another reading with her, too, in the moon.
Did it?
I don't know. Moon is an awesome card. It is not in my favorites list, but it's very close, only because I can't have every card be my favorite because I love every card, right? But can you think of a more appropriate card right now for everything that's going on in the world for you? And that moon is telling you to really embrace the whole entirety of what is going on around us and what is going on with you. Stick to it. I like to see the moon as a card that says, even in the darkest part of the night, there's still illumination. And while people look at the moon as being the dim light, it's not really the dim light. It's the brightest thing that's out there. It's just in contrast to the night or the lack of the sun. So to me, the moon is the ultimate illuminator and contraster. So it allows you to see things in a different light, and you are going to see some things shimmer and shine that didn't necessarily do that with the sunlight. Now, in the grand scheme of the world and what's going on, the moon is also a card about going inside and finding new things out about yourself and finding new things out about what your whole internal system is of change, and to ultimately be able to transform the things around you. As an activist, this card says this is the moment. This is where you need to shine and be the moon, because the moon is represented by the feminine, right? It's represented by the female body. It's truly feminine. And really, you're gonna have to see this card though. This is so pretty. It's completely different from a standard moon.
Yeah, let me show you this. It is pretty.
But truly, the focus really is about that internal illumination and illuminating of the things that are around you in a manner differently than they have been before, and working through them through action and through the cycle, truly. And then you've got another big disc.
8 of emotions.
A lot of discs. A lot of round things. An emotion.
That's kidding.
Emotions is obviously a water card. We talked about that, but the moon also is too.
Oh, Lord of mercy. I want to see what this says, because age.
Yeah. And the moon is like, it's not it's time-wise, the moon is usually, to me, a longer timeline on something. But it is still longer, still limited. It's still, like, if we think of the lunar cycle, 28 days, it's not like next year. This is coming up in the next month or two that something is going to have to be actioned out of that illumination. So there's a timeline, but it's just not like tomorrow.
8 of emotions, walking away and healing old wounds and stories. Finding a better fit, letting go to make space for the new, first state of a new life. Unveiling the sun. The eclipse has unfurled its thickest protection, and it has blocked the blinding lights of illusion. It has lifted her strange sensation of being dulled and numbed, and stopped her false happy. It has cast everything with a sheen of honest magic, and for the first time she has seen it all for what it really is. Like a switch flipped, she's dropped it all the baggage, all the lifetimes, all the tethers, all the broken dreams. Oh, how often she has stayed when she didn't want to. How often she has done so much for them and never for herself. She realizes now as she walks away just how far off course she has twisted and how much she has changed. With this lifting of the spell, she can see everything in its lucidity. She asks you to bravely let go with her today, to cut the cords that need cutting, and to courageously choose your own self and your own love.
Awesome. Yeah, the interesting thing is we've got go from the moon to the eclipse, right? So those are both two very strong energies that need to be included in whatever it is you're working on and whatever action you're planning to work through.
That smells good.
That is my favorite version of Dragon's Blood.
That is
Joy,
nice.
you are up next.
Joy.
And I almost dropped
Snip,
that.
snip.
Snip, snip.
Got a beautiful ritual for that. Ooh. Yeah, and I bet that's a powerful one, Joy. That ritual. Cord cutting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Snip, snip.
And I imagine someone would need to be really sure that that's what they desire to do before going through that, because it's I can tell if you're doing it, it's going to be a strong and a ritual that takes. Yeah. 8 of
Sorry, that weird noise is me preventing a cough from all the smoke in here.
All the smoke.
Ooh. I love it though. Probably should crack a window at some point. Need some fresh air. Just kidding.
What does Joy need to hear?
So Joy, the first card I have for you is the 5 of Inspiration. So we're talking wands, right? Wand, we're back into fire energy. And the 5 of Inspiration, Simona, I actually have Kelly and then you, but if Kelly wants to switch with you, we can. I added you to the list.
Cool, Simona.
So either's fine with me.
Yeah.
So 5 of Inspiration, again, we're going to go back to thinking about 5s. 5s can be writer's block card for me.
Oh, yeah.
When you're talking about the inspiration, it's that 5 of fire. Like, oh, okay, really, do I need to, what's happening here? They're kind of stuck a little bit. So it when you see it, it's going to show this completely different, perspectives and movements and things in the card. Which to me is saying, there's portals all around you. One of them looks like it is supposed to be her reproductive organs, if I'm not taking that the wrong way. But there's these all different portals that are around this person, this woman on the card, and she's looking through each of these portals for inspiration, right? And so I think that's a pretty cool, image, just to kind of say, don't just look through one portal. Be open and aware to all the portals that are around you, so that you can kind of see what's going on, and you can kind of take some new inspiration out of other areas. This might be a completely different type of craft or a different kind of thing to do in order to work on something that you're working on. But either way, you are taking inspiration in from the universe. It might be a little bit stuck. Even if it's not, just be willing to look at the other portals of vision and inspiration that are around you, so that you can continue to develop more, I don't want to say crafts again, but more things. So you can see there we've got the portals at her feet, at her head, at her face, at the edge, all the different areas. So it's just open all the windows and allow all the light in from all of them, not just one. And then your 3 of air, which would be a 3 of swords.
Didn't
again,
this not come up
we just pulled
earlier?
it a minute ago, yeah.
Yeah, and I just get that a project may not turn out
The way you want it to.
Yeah, projects may not turn out the way that you're planning, or it may fall through, and it's not going to be of your doing.
Yeah. The 3 of swords is often that, we call it the heartbreak card because it's a heart with 3 swords through it, but it usually, to me, brings in an air of somebody's interfering with something. That it's not going to be a complete and utter breakdown. This is a minor arcana, but it's certainly somebody's going to be involved in something that is not joyous.
Maybe be wary of a new partner on an adventure, or
Yeah.
venture, not adventure. It could be an adventure, but venture.
And not to say
project.
don't do it,
Right.
just to say be aware
Be
and
aware
wary.
of
And
them. If they sound
cognizant.
kind of, if something don't seems a little off, it probably is.
hopefully that gives you some thought on that, Joy. Kelly, you're up.
Kelly.
And I know you're in there. I saw you just talking. So let's get a couple of... Oh my God, there's a dog licking my toe. It's weird.
Come on, my petite.
That's a Finn licking my toe.
I got a mom here begging to get up.
I just want to say hello to everyone
Hmm.
and give my blessing.
Oh, they can't see her.
Oh, I forgot. Hold on. I keep forgetting to... We're gonna definitely have to do this better. I don't like that. There we go.
My name is Mademoiselle Ma Petite Poissette Astra, and I just want to say hello and I give my blessings to the cards.
Oh, thank you, Stinky Brett. Thank you, Stinky Butt.
Stinky breath.
I love her. You can't be up here right now, Mom. No.
All right, Kelly, we're going to get 2 cards. Now we can, encourage anybody to come around and give us more. You'll get more cards the more people that show up at our house. So,
Yeah, people come
just
on.
for the record. Just for the record. All right.
This is Kelly.
This is a really good card, Kelly.
Yes, Melvin.
Things must be going very well. Yeah, that's really scary and true, Melvin, actually. But I am not one of those people, and it does not feel good to me. Does not like it. But we got a really good start. 9 of materials. So think 9 of pentacles, 9 of earth. This is in kind of towards the completion of a journey or something that you've been working on in the physical world. This may be a craft thing, or it may be a project at work. But whatever it is, you feel good about it. It's nothing huge. It's just something like, I've been kind of dabbling with this thing, and it's looking really good, and it's starting to come together. Because when you think of it, by the time you get to the 9, if our journey is 1 through 10 and then back to 1, 10 being the completion of a journey, then your 9 is, we're almost there, just a little bit more, but let's pause it for a minute, and let's see what's happening, and then we'll go to the next level. So really, 9 of materials and 9 of pentacles, again, whatever you want to call it, is talking about those things that you're working on in the physical world. And it really, just because of all the roses I'm seeing in this particular card, it really does mention or show like a lot of emotional fulfillment coming from it. When the 9 of pentacles, or 9 of materials in this case, show up for me in a reading, it's generally saying that you're getting ready to go to a period of rest, of comfortable rest, of needed rest, because the physical world has been wringing you out through cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You haven't quite got to the end finish line yet, but it's time to take a rest. Enjoy what you've created, or enjoy what you're going through, what you've made, but take a rest. Be proud of it. It is your, something that is masterfully done and comfortably done. These could be things as small as, I've had this card come up with pet adoption a lot. So somebody who has recently adopted an animal, and they've been working on it. They had to get the money, they had to get the stuff set up, get the house set up, blah, blah, blah. The 9 comes up, and it's like, okay, now we can get to that point where we're ready to do it. We just have to pull the trigger, and that next step is done. It also comes up when you're doing physical crafting. So this would be creative things like painting, sewing, creating a bag, useful, well, I guess maybe not so much as painting, but creating useful items. That this is, you're looking back like you're very proud of that master work. A lot of times like wood burning or carving, those kind of things can be present with the 9 of pentacles for me.
Beachy. I got Justice inverted. This is kind of a cool Justice card. And just immediately what I got when I pulled this is that there's a decision of some sort that's going to seem like it's not fair. Don't worry. It will be made right, but it's not going to feel right when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, justice is always one of those cards that people immediately look at and think of justice, right? Like getting justice for something. I've always looked at it more like pay your dues. It's time to balance out the equation. Kind of like temperance, but more on a worldly scale or a universal scale. And inverted means that it's something that might be due you. Like there's something that needs to be balanced, and you're on the poor receiving end of it, and it's about to be balanced for you. Like somebody's about to make you whole again in something that's happened.
All right.
I love that card.
That's a really pretty
Different
card.
justice for sure. Hopefully that gives you some information and some insight, Kelly, on whatever's going on. And Dragon Dancer, we have no plans next week. Come on. And yes, pool time is always. Unless there's thunder and lightning, which there always is. Oh, see, I've got to get. Yeah, we need a better solution. That's not a fun place. Sorry, I am also on call for work, so I have to check my phone every once in a while. So we're good. What are you doing? He has.
I'm hungry.
We're almost done.
Darn.
Chill out. And every single piece I'm putting on here is rolling off.
I have to get a chip.
Okay.
I've been trying that new ice chip and Tic Tac diet, and I have to just say, it's left me very hungry.
It ain't working.
It ain't working. So don't try the ice chip and Tic Tac diet. Then you're gonna have to hush, or you're gonna go in the back.
All right, so we're gonna head over to Simona. Are you still with us? I think you are.
Simona. Oh, thank you. No problem.
You are welcome.
Yes, we will just dance in the rain, and I'm gonna join y'all this time.
Me too. So yeah, the 2-card readings really don't have a whole lot to offer. But like I said, the more people here, the more fun we have with it.
Oh yeah, we'll get Dragon Dancer Joy.
And the last couple of times we've been like we've done it, and maybe we'll continue that way. We've all pulled from a different deck too. That's been pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this deck too much. I do have
Really?
to say.
I'm definitely feeling the deck. I would have preferred the Light Seers,
Yeah.
which I just ordered another copy of because we can't find the other one, but that's kind of frustrating. All right. So let's see, Simona.
All right. So,
Muse of Emotions. You got me feeling emotion.
a lot of emotions going on today.
Yeah, no freaking kidding. And we
What
are
the
shuffling.
hell? Yeah.
So what did I say? What'd I say?
Muse of emotions.
Gotta put some water on that fire.
Yeah.
I need to do that too, apparently. I'm gonna go jump in the pool in a minute because my fire is still... I'm projecting still, and I know that. And my
Naked.
apologies. Stupid. So in this deck, the Muse Tarot, the Muse is the king of the deck. That means that is the full embodiment of all of the structures and emotions and elements of the emotion. And I love how these muses are landscape. I've rarely seen landscape design cards. So this is telling me that for you, Simona, right now, you are in a space... I have to stop. What?
I'm sorry, Joy. I'm sorry.
She retracted it, whatever it was. I missed it.
Fart need an offering. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
You're such an idiot. I
I'm a
can't.
kid. I'm like immature.
Yes.
Very.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. From the staff, I'm definitely not, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I think he's good, but
I don't think of it-
really like your style. And
Me too.
okay, hush. And you were so spot on
Set my
with
dog.
your reading. Yeah, not you, Beachy. You're doing good.
Well, she's the one causing him to go
She
like
is
that.
a pro.
Yeah, no, I don't know why, Carter, what you would
Something
be...
about farting. Yes.
I don't know why... maybe I'm allowed to, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know why you would just, think that you would be nervous or anything with us.
No, you're a pro, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You're freaking
For sure.
awesome.
I don't consider myself a pro either. I don't consider myself a novice or a beginner, but I'm really not a pro. I've been doing it a long time, but I don't know. I enjoy it so much. So,
Stephanie
but
is awesome.
I'm gonna get back to this muse.
And I hope one day I can shuffle as fast as Steph.
For Simona.
Okay, I'll shut up. Sorry.
We were talking about Muse being the king, and so for me, the first thing that comes to me for Simona and the Cocoa Puff name, or Cuckoo Puff, sorry, Cuckoo Puff, is, and wait till you see it, like, the balance in this card and the connectivity in this card is absolutely beautiful. You're going to see it right away because it's a total connection. And I'm also looking a little bit to the left, seeing the card that Rook here pulled, which will alter this a little bit. But probably is an upcoming thing. But right now, you should hopefully be feeling pretty. Yeah, thank you. Just every time I say a word, she starts talking again. VG's gonna go up for a few minutes so he can finish.
Come on, baby. You can do it. Come on.
They're fighting over a dog toy. But you know, it's all about being comfortable in your own emotional skin. And of all the people that I'm getting this type of energy from, you really do have that under control. And the muse is telling you that, you know, you can be your own muse. When you rise to the level of completing the journey of emotions, it doesn't mean that you're done. You're going to start back over, so that's coming. But the king is the end of that, right? The king is the muse, is the inspiration for the everything that is emotion, and you've got that already. So whatever you're doing, whatever is going on in your life, look back at what you can do to muse yourself or to inspire yourself, because your creations are going to go to the next level. Whatever you're doing in that part of your life is going to the next level. Now the muse doesn't say that you don't have any emotional issues. Everybody does. But it says right now, the way things are going for you, you are in control of them. You do have the capability. Your confidence might be a little bit lacking in some cases when it comes to that, but you really are prepared and ready and emotionally balanced now to go do what it is you want to do. And so that's going to be really important when you get to this next card.
What a cool tower card inverted. That's really a cool card.
Yeah, Simona is blunt. She will tell it like it is. Yeah, and that's...
She is. Good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. And really the muse is not... Well, I guess not really talking about being blunt specifically. It's really wanting to go back in and don't look for inspiration outside. Go in yourself, because what are you doing? Oh, this dog is going to be the death of me. She's just going from thing to thing.
What are you doing, Beach?
I'm sorry. His dog. But yeah, so it's rare that when I'm doing a reading that you get the energy or the intuitive feeling that somebody is actually on point with where they're at and what they're feeling. So whatever you're doing, it's working for you.
I just get a big change coming. It won't shake you.
All right.
But it's not gonna shake you. Not gonna phase you. Hold on, honey.
Hi, baby.
Which way is it?
All right. Yeah, you know, the tower card is always one of that I love seeing, because the first response is to the tower always this massive adjustment or change. I'm like, you know what? That is true. There is a formal, you know, breakdown of the system, or the hierarchy, I should say. But you certainly are handling it very well.
Yeah,
like emotionally, you are balanced.
It ain't gonna shake her. It's not gonna phase her. Whatever it is.
All right, we just got a jumper. So for paranormal, we got a jumper, so I had to take it.
Paranormal witch. Ooh, let's connect to paranormal witch.
VG definitely agrees. She is something.
Yeah. Didn't they change? Oh. I don't even know Simona, but I get an energy from her that it's just like a strong, something coming through strong energy. Paranormal. And paranormal's our last one.
Paranormal is our last one. Unless we missed anybody, you can certainly just let us know, and you know we can adjust.
Paranormal.
So our first card.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the tower card is, you know, it's certainly a shakedown of some sort in certain things, but that's just, I mean, it's a cycle, and you are completing that cycle, and you are bouncing back each time very well, and just going through the things that are making you do what you got to do. So that's one of the things I love about the tower. I'm so not happy about having to fly this week. Paranormal. Your first card pulled, the Muse of Inspiration. So So we are looking in the realm of fire again. So the
It's
muse
beautiful.
of inspiration and fire. This is a warning, not a warning, a beacon, I should say, or a sign that is saying you inspire yourself and you need to be proud of what you are doing and how you are doing and all of the things that you are accomplishing. I think you may feel like there is some part of your fire life or your inspirational life that you are missing out on, but you're not recognizing maybe what's right in front of you, that you are the person who drives that, you are the walkthrough here. One of the things that I notice in this card, it kind of reminds me of the never-ending story a bit. You've got the oracles, right? And the person that's getting ready to walk through the oracles to see, are they going to make it through? So are you of the caliber of person that's going to make it through? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So when you walk through those oracles, you are perfectly fine. You get to stroll right through them because you are your own inspiration. You are your own muse. And you need to recognize that, and you need to live that, and you need to be comfortable with that, and you need to be willing to look in the mirror and say, I am my own muse. I am comfortable with who I am. I do love myself, and I am worthy. Muse of Inspiration is a beautiful card that always, to me, or king, I just say king of fire. He's always going to be one that says, you better bitch look in the mirror and say that you're worth your weight in gold, and more than that, nobody can tell you otherwise. Next.
Okay. I'm actually going to pull a card, but I had 2 jumpers for her that have to be included.
Okay.
All right. So I guess my card's a clarifier. I'm pulling.
Could be. Could be. I just love this Muse card, the Inspiration.
All right. I know you get frustrated because that takes so long. Huh.
When did I seem frustrated?
I'm just messing with you. Okay, so I had 2 jumpers for you. The first one's the Fool. You've started a journey, but I get this next jumper, the 6 of Inspiration, which is the air card. Is that what we said? The Inspiration?
Fire.
Is that, fire. Well, that makes sense too.
Well, the interesting thing is about the Fool, right, is sometimes that's foolhardy, but if you couple it with the Muse of Inspiration and the Fool, this is, you are taking a leap of faith, but it's the right one. You are definitely making some good decisions right now in your life.
Right. So, the Fool, you've started a journey or a project. I feel like mine should go in the middle. Something's happened. I guess I should let you look at the cards first, right? That'd be helpful. So this was a jumper, the Fool. A new journey that you've started.
It's
or
definitely
working on.
a different looking Fool than I've seen before.
Yes.
And welcome in, Kelvin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are just kind of winding up with our last tarot read here with Paranormal Witch. But I am glad you came in. And hi, is it Christiane?
Okay. The Fool was the jumper. Has to be included.
Okay. See how rude he is.
I'm just saying, like to get on with it.
Oh, you mean like I did when you wouldn't let me talk and you had to say hello to oh God, what am I doing?
So you've started a new journey. Something's happened. You've had to look at it a different way. You've questioned: are you going to be able to finish? Are you going to? Are you doing the right thing? Is it worth it? After thinking about it, yeah, you got to keep going. Whatever it is, I feel like the end is close. You just got to keep pushing and finish that your current journey and project soon. So the Fool and the 6 of Inspiration were jumpers. And then the Hangman I pull for you. Oh, you got Inspiration. 2 inspirations. And 2 majors.
Yeah, some very big choices and things to make, Paranormal, but they're very appropriate. They're very consistent. They're very strong, very together.
So you may have had some stops and starts, but go ahead and pick it back up and keep going. It's going to be, after considering it, you know you're doing the right thing. You're going to finish whatever it is and push on through to the finish line.
To the finish line.
That's what I heard. That's what I got.
All right. Well, I think that's everybody that we have
Hey,
on the
thank
list.
you, everybody.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are able to make it in. My apologies. We are getting ready to end. We've been up for about 2.5 hours, and had a really, really good time, as we always do. I'm glad you guys are able to stop in. I know for you guys on Pacific Coast, it is really early for when we start at 11. So this is one of the reasons why we generally try to stop at noon.
There you go, paranormal. Yeah, we're trying to stop at 12 or 12:30, but
I think 1 o'clock really is where it's going to end up landing. Just trying to stop. But again, if we go over, we go over. We're not doing anything right now.
and we will never cut it off when people are coming in and want to spend time with us. So thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Christine. Yeah. Oh, thank
Anytime.
you, Kelly, and everybody. And thank you. I will say that the conversations and communications with Steph's people are so awesome. You guys are just really seem like really good, kind people, fun, and we've really enjoyed chatting in the Discord this week. Please
Very
continue
much.
to do so and stop in. We really, really, really appreciate it. And from the Cauldron Witch Tarot, are you going to go live soon?
Yes.
You guys have got to check out From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram if she goes live. Her tarot is amazing. She is spot on, and it is absolutely just freaking awesome to watch.
Agreed.
I guess I should have asked you if you're going live before I did that. Are you going live from the Cauldron Witch staff?
That
Are you
is
doing
too
it?
funny.
I should have asked before I just said that. But
Yeah. It's always fun. We try to keep it low key. We don't, it's Sunday. Nobody wants to be up and doing all kinds of craziness. And we want to keep it kind of low key. Now I'm excited about having a couple people over and getting some new tarot put in, because that's always fun for me.
yeah. Oh, she's like, oh. Sorry. I'll ask next time before I open my big mouth.
You never do that for me, so.
Well, I'm excited. She's got a good thing. Yeah. And maybe next week we'll have Joy. I can't remember if she said she had something to do, but for sure, probably Dragon Dancer, and hopefully Joy. Yes, 11:30. Okay, everybody. So 2:30 Eastern Time. Cauldron
Yes.
Witch will go live, and at 1:30 Texas time. That's probably not what that means, but I know they're an hour behind
Yeah.
us. Yeah. So, and 12:30 Colorado. Everybody in here, please
Colorado.
jump on and watch From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. She is awesome. We will be there. Yes, she is amazing. She's freaking spot on,
That is
and
too
she does
funny.
it so fast.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
definitely a good chat. You should check that out. Check From the Cauldron Witch out. And like I said, we're going to make a list and get everybody together so we can kind of have all that in one place in the Discord, and see if we can't set up some, notifications for friends of the channel to go live. So thank you guys so much for stopping in. I apologize for those of you that are recently just joined and we're already closing out. But, go back and check out the video. If you have any comments, put them in there. We love to hear your thoughts and how people read differently. And it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to grow and change over time. So thanks again. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great week next week. And we are going to do a quick closeout from our circle, since we called circle in the beginning. So what we will do, from the north, Widdershins to the east, undoing the circle that is cast. May it be open, but never unbroken. So mote it be.
And be it so.
And be it so.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Love you, love you, love you.